Life-threatening flooding around our area, particularly out to the west of us right now. You get out near Hondo off of 90 in the Quihee area. They've had over 10 inches of rain last night. And then, of course, back up closer to San Antonio and Castroville and that entire area there. We had all these alerts go off at about 10 o'clock yesterday morning just as we were finishing our show. We're alerting us to what was going to be happening out to our west, which I was talking about yesterday. And that right there is going to be the focal point of everything that is going on out to our west. Now, San Antonio, you will be affected by this. In the San Antonio area, off to our east, down to our south, nobody is going to escape what's going to happen. It will not be a continuous rainfall for those of us in the San Antonio area and down to our east and off to our southeast, where we cover a lot. We got a lot of listeners in that area. This is the heaviest part of this is out to our west right now. And when I say that, I'm talking about the Twisted Sisters area. So 335 and 336 and 337, where you have some incredibly tall hills in that area. The Sabinal River is right there. You talk about Los Maples, Utopia, Bandera. That's kind of the triangle area there, the Twisted Sisters. And then as you come on further south, and you get into the Uvalde area, and Rock Springs is there, and Camp Wood, and all those kind of things happening in that area. You've had a tremendous amount of rain over there. It's been really focused in the Hondo area and just north of Highway 90, where the vast majority of this has fallen. But anywhere between Bandera and down to Hondo and then out west toward Camp Wood, all night there has just been this gigantic cell, and it continues to rebuild as the day goes on or as the night has gone on. It continues to rebuild. This is similar to July of 2002, the kind of training that we're seeing built in here. In 98, we had a massive flood, and in 2002, we had a massive flood. You've got very saturated air, and it goes up higher than 40,000 feet right now, and that low pressure is now causing it to rain itself on top of us. And just as it begins to clear a little bit, and again, I'm focused mainly on the west right now. I'm gonna there's other areas, but I'm talking about the west right now. Just as it begins to clear up over there, another system will form on top of that one, and it will just come in and begin to rain heavy again. So if you're out west of here, anywhere from Del Rio to San Antonio on Highway 90, and you know that includes Hondo and Castroville and Uvalde and all those areas there, Bracketville, where they shot the movie The Alamo many, many years ago, and all the way up to Lake Hills, Bandera, and Medina, and Lakey, and all the way over to Bernie even. Like right now, Bernie has a heavy cell right over it. There's a heavy cell right over Castroville on Highway 90. And the reason I bring this up, Sean, is a lot of people that come in from out there.
Right.
And they're coming into San Antonio on Highway 90, and that's going to be pretty much a treacherous drive this morning. Another line of storms is forming just north of Del Rio. And so basically, here's what we got. We have several areas that do have flood warnings. And so we're talking about Medina and Bandera and Uvalde and Comal. And the flood warning for Comal County, the main line of concern, and I'm looking at it right now, it's a very heavy rainfall. If you take that area from Bulverde all the way over to Garden Ridge and I-35, and draw a line right there, 1863, and then on up to 46, there's some very heavy rain falling there.
Right.
And the reason that that's important is that there's a lot of people. First of all, Guadalupe River, but secondly, you've got that right at the Bexar County line. You've got in Comal County line up to 1863. You've got a major creek there that floods, and it can run across 1863. And because it's dark right now, you're not going to see it if it's running across 1863. So very concerned about vehicles being washed away, being caught up in that type of thing. And then there's a lot of construction at 281 and 46, the same thing. You got all the construction there. And so with it raining heavy in that area as well. So there's a lot of concern. There's some people listening to us right now going, it's dry as a bone, ain't no problem here.
Well, that is a temporary situation.
And right.
You're listening, time. Well, you're listening to the right station because you are a master at breaking this stuff down for people and keeping them informed. So keep it here, and you'll get the latest information from a man, Trey, on this stuff, because there's nobody better at this.
I just, this is an important thing, and people, every time, and it gets passionate because every time we have something like this happen, and particularly if it turns into 2002, if something like that happens, we we always lose life, and I just don't want to see that happen. You know what I mean?
Well, and you're doing the right thing, getting the information out there as quickly as possible for folks so they know what's going to happen. And, again, there's nobody better at it than you. So stay tuned to your severe weather station, KTSA.
Well,
we'll keep you up to date.
We're going to continue to do the other news, too. We got a lot of other stuff to talk
and also
about.
You're going to open up the phones if people see something, they can call it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Locally, currently, there's 11 active outages. About 1,100 people are being affected.
Well,
wow.
Let me tell you where the street closures are, and Debbie will keep you up to date on this all morning. But, of course, at Viker and Perrin Bidle, there's construction, and so that's got a light going on there. Sleepy Hollow and Sunburst Lane, 2 barricades have been placed there. Danville Drive and Overlook, 2 barricades there. Jones Maltzberger at 281, 2 barricades there. Southwell Road at Verbena and Encino Park Road, got a barricade there. You got Pyron Avenue and Mission Parkway, 4 barricades. Comanche Crossing and Mission Canyon, 4 barricades. So you do have some road closures in and around the San Antonio area. So far, the rain at best in San Antonio has been moderate.
Right.
That's going to change. I can tell you we're going to see heavier rainfall. It's going to begin to build into the San Antonio area as we get closer to the end of our show. As the morning goes on, we're going to see it build. And then it's going to kind of retreat and then come back. And that's the way it's going to go until Thursday.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. It's just going to keep coming at us. Well, again, just, if you don't have to go out when it's raining really, really hard, then stay home and don't risk it. And, again, keep it here for all the latest information as we get it. So
I am trying to look again at the radar. Yeah, a lot of that stuff is continuing to build. There's stuff right now between Hondo and Sabinal that's extremely heavy on Highway 90. And before you get to Uvalde, the same thing is true. The good thing is, particularly out west is where the heaviest is falling. If you don't have to go anywhere and you can just kind of wait this out, this is going to be really good for the drought that is very heavy in that area.
Right.
We haven't had Medina Lake in how long, guys? 10 years, 12 years, 15 years? Medina Lake has been gone.
At least 10 years.
At least 10 years. Oh, no, yeah, even longer than that, Elaine, because I remember going out there in 2007, 2008, and it was just a creek bed at that point. This is going to be helpful for Medina Lake. But, again, we have stuff that crosses over the top. When you talk about Timberwood Park and 281, there's lots of lightning and thunder going on out there right now, and it stretches on over into the Comal County area. Now, the heaviest of the downpours is south of Canyon Lake, but that's going to change, too. So Canyon is going to get some heavy downpours, and that's going to be good for Canyon Lake.
Beneficial rain.
Yeah.
It's well needed.
Well, yeah, for sure. The main thing is, though, when you're talking about these areas and a lot of folks in the rural country, a lot of ranchers and farmers.
Yeah, a lot
people
of friends up there.
Yeah. And so the only way to get anywhere is an FM road, farm-to-market road. And a lot of those farm-to-market roads have the low-water crossings. We call them low-water crossings. It's a high-water crossing.
It's like a near miss with airplanes.
Right.
Yeah, right. It's kind of the opposite of what it's describing.
So, I think about several of the roads that, I typically traverse and go through, and they have those dips. And in those dips, and you guys who live there, you know where those dips are, and that's where you're going to see the flooding, and you're going to see the problems. Purgatory Road is one of those things that just dips and up and dips and up and dips and up. And you know where that is if you travel that. Please try to stay away from those areas if it's raining heavily in your area. But it's not everywhere at all times right now. San Antonio is pretty clear. We did have some, kind of a moderate shower here about 30, 45 minutes ago. Yeah, Christian, go ahead.
I was going to point out, you're talking about how this is, the West is the focus right now. Civil emergency message has now been declared for that area that's Hondo and Queehee. We don't see that very often. We've got the flash flood warnings, and I'm just looking at the counties. As you're looking at radar, I'm just looking at the counties, and it's kind of like looking at a board game with all the different colors here and there. But you don't often see pink. And so they're saying close to a foot of rain in that area you're talking about. But if you look now, New Braunfels, that's on the other side of the metro. That's now flash flood warning, too. So this is everywhere.
Yeah. That's what I was just talking about when you go to New Braunfels. I'm talking about that area of 1863 and 46. Starts over in Bulverde and stretches all the way over to Garden Ridge and north of there. There's been a heavy-duty, I'm looking at it right now, heavy-duty sale between 281 and 35 that is between those two areas. If you take 281 directly north Bulverde and I-35 over to New Braunfels, that entire area saturated with a very heavy downpour. So we'll take a break. We'll come back, and we'll continue to cover this, but we got other news to talk about as well. I want to tell you about here in Texas. Sean went to here in Texas a couple of years ago. I went to here in Texas a couple of years ago. Both of our lives are completely different now. I can tell you that for 43 years of my marriage, it was very difficult to hear my wife, and we just got along. We were able to manage because I did that my entire life. I was able to manage my entire life because I've had hearing loss in my left ear forever. And it just got worse as time went on. And when Dr. Sally put the hearing aids in me a couple of years ago, it was just transformative. It was a totally different experience being able to hear my wife and my grandgirls and the people that are around me, being able to sing again and do some of the things that I've always loved doing. I know Sean has a similar story to tell, which he'll get into a little bit later on. I just want you to know that they're here for you. If you have hearing difficulties or if you know somebody who does, head on over to here in Texas and let them evaluate your hearing and fit you with these miraculous hearing aids. That's what I call them. I think they're a miracle. That's it. Here, H-E-A-R, here in TX.com. Okay, periods of heavy rain and thunderstorms the next couple of days. Significant flash flooding possible through Thursday. 82 today, 79 tomorrow, 77 now. KTSA.
Good. Stay connected.
Yeah, just real fast. I just want to say, avoid the area of 1863 out there, Smithson Valley. Smithson Valley Road goes down into the creek and comes back up the other side. It's 4 foot high now, the creek is. They are building a bridge over it. And last time I was through there a few weeks ago, it wasn't complete yet. Hopefully it'll be complete very soon.
Right.
So there you
just,
go.
again, stay tuned. We'll have the latest for you on the flooding situation and the rain. Whatever the latest information is, my man here is going to give that to you. The only thing we have a lot of time to get through some of these other news stories. Got lots of stuff going on. A lot of stuff that was happening yesterday was around this latest shooting in Maine by an ICE officer, a young Colombian, 26 years of age. What we're hearing is that it's another one of these situations like in Houston where we're hearing they tried to hit the ICE agent with the car, which we know is a tactic, which we've seen now for about a year in this country. There were no body cams, so I don't believe we have any footage of this thing as far as I can tell from reading yesterday afternoon into the evening. I don't know. I mean, there's got to be an investigation, obviously. You want to see what happened and investigate it honestly and objectively, and heard Pags talking about it last night. And that we have thousands of these arrests every day and these folks being picked up and people don't get shot. I hate to be, biased, but whenever I hear about a vehicle in motion, given that we know that's something they do is try to hit these people either to get away in the car or to try to hit them with the car. This is something we hear about every day. Again, calling for an investigation to make sure that's what happened. But I always, that's where my mind goes. Well, if you just got out of the car or just did what you were told, stuff doesn't happen. I mean, that's something I was raised on. You were raised on that idea with law enforcement in general, whether they're ICE or they're a cop on the beat. You do what they tell you to do. You're not being oppressed by that. Nothing bad is happening to you. But nothing bad will happen to you if you just comply and do what they tell you to do, then work it out later in the courts.
I can tell you what did not happen to me yesterday is I did not get shot by an ICE agent. And do you know why? Because I didn't try to run one over.
Yes, me neither. Same thing. I mean, you always have
right.
You always have that factor. We had this big, I don't know how many people showed up for this thing downtown because of the Houston shooting. The communists are the ones who are shouting the loudest about shutting down ICE and getting rid of the jails and getting rid of law enforcement, which, as you know, they would then promptly replace with their own law enforcement and their own camps and all that stuff. So, again, for the pukes and the communists and the enemies of this country who live here, they love when this stuff happens. I hate to put it that way, but they do. Because they got an issue they can start running their mouths about. Yeah. But we got to wait for the investigation to take place so we know exactly what happened.
Well, sure. And we talked about that yesterday with the commies downtown Friday who were, protesting ICE and ICE out, get the F out and all these signs that they love to carry about. That's nothing but commies wanting to, and that's when we were talking about they'll build a wall around to keep you in. Right now we're building a wall to keep those guys out. Eventually, when the commies take over, they build a wall to keep you in the country because everybody wants to leave.
Yeah,
like New York.
Don't think that this open border crap is going to survive if these clowns actually get into power. You're going to see all kinds of walls at that point.
Well, but it's to keep people in because at that point, everybody wants to leave.
The Berlin Wall.
Right. That's what we talked about yesterday.
We did. The same thing.
Yes, that's right.
So, enjoy your open border philosophy now while it still survives.
Christian brought up that point yesterday about the Berlin Wall when it came down. It wasn't people trying to rush in. It was people rushing out.
They weren't rushing
to get in there.
East. They weren't right. Yeah, it wasn't happening.
That's
man.
right. Okay, after today's rain and the flooding and all that stuff, I hope you stay out of the water as much as possible. But it's going to be almost impossible to avoid water today and tomorrow and Thursday. So one of the things I recommend to you is to have your oil changed after you have a situation like this, after you have major flooding around and all that kind of stuff and driving in the water and all that. And when you have your oil changed, make sure you ask the guy to do the BG service. Put BG products inside your crankcase at all times. That's going to give you the added protection, whether it's 9,000 degrees outside, and it's hot and you're on 1604, or whether it's wet. And this could be a repeat of July 2002. So with that going on, you want to be aware of that and go get your oil changed as soon as this is over. It's going to be Thursday and Friday of this week, and maybe this weekend. Have your oil changed and ask the guy who does the service to put the BG in the crankcase. It's also a good idea to do the 44K, which is their fuel system treatment. It cleans out the fuel system, cleans out the lines, cleans out the injectors, and it oils and lubricates the top side of the engine as well. It's a wonderful product. They have a lot of great products for your vehicle with BG. You can go on their website, find out more about it. But all the guys who change oil and work on cars, they've got the BG products. All you got to do is ask for it. BG, findashop.com.
News Talk 5.
Our west, we've had an incredible amount of rain. There's a possibility that that area around Hondo, just north and on up toward the Bandera area, we've had like a training effect that's happened there, and it could be about a foot might have fallen. So it's
good Lord.
Yeah, that's biblical proportions, and it's by the time we get to Thursday, and all of us have been hoping for a good hard rainfall because we needed a drought buster. By the time we get to Thursday, we're going to be asking God to stop because it's going to be that way for the next several days.
So it's just going to cycle rain shower. Okay, so through Thursday. Good
Basically,
Lord.
look at it this way: if you step outside and you start seeing redfish, and you start seeing shrimp, and you start seeing a few sharks, you know why? The Gulf of America has settled over the top of us, and it's between us and 40,000 feet in the air. And all we needed was a triggering device, and this low level moved in and went, here's your triggering device, let her go.
In other words, if your front yard looks like Corpus, it's you may want to stay inside.
Well, we've had a neighbor that's been working on a big boat for a few years. He's got long white hair and a long white beard. He doesn't do anything but work on the boat, and he was ready for this.
He's ready. Noah is ready there, your neighbor
that's
Noah.
Exactly
so
right.
So currently in Bexar County, we have 16 active outages affecting 1,900 people.
You're talking power.
Wow.
Power.
Right, and I just was texting Debbie, and she's well aware of the road conditions. Let me just go through a couple of the places. I'm going to start in town real quick.
Yeah.
In San Antonio, a couple of places that we always know that have a flooding issue, and it is coming down pretty hard on the northeast side right now. And east of San Antonio, right over at 410 and 87, where all the you got a lot of construction businesses over there, and that area has really exploded over the past 10 years or so. It's really had some incredible growth. There's a heavy cell that is camped out and not moving right on top of that area. So the areas that are most concerned, anywhere where you see construction, like 1604 and I-35, because those barricades, those walls, just hold the water. There's nowhere for the water to go. So it just builds up inside of there. But we also have, you get out on I-35 in the Selma area, and you've got the Cibolo Creek that runs across there right at Evans Road. That can be a very dangerous situation right there by Gilman Honda, runs on down through the area. So you're going to have to keep an eye on that. You're also going to have to keep an eye as you come southward on I-35 and you get close to Walsham Road. On the two right-hand lanes, there always seems to form a lake, a literal lake, like we have in the parking lot here.
Right.
Forms out there on the highway, and that's in the two right-hand lanes. So that's always an issue. And right there at 35 Starlight Terrace and Weidner, between there, sometimes, and I remember this vividly from 98 and 2002, it became a river over there. So you want to be awake and alert to all that, particularly now because it's so dark, you can't see that stuff on the road. And so as it's forming now, and you're going to have those pockets, you're driving along and you think you're fine, and you hit a wall of water and you're on top of it, you're hydroplaning all of a sudden. Again, 35, the lower level downtown, that's always going to be an issue. So you want to be aware of that. My major concern right now is out 281, and you get to 1863. You get to, of course, I guess school is not in session right now, so it won't be a problem.
There might be some camps or summer school going on. I know that some people take their kids to their summer camp then while they're going to work. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm more concerned about Smithson Valley and that area right there because that road has a number of inches of water over it right now as we speak. At 1863, right there at the county line, the creek runs across there, and it does flood 1863 across there, so you want to be aware of that. Now, we've had several calls, and if you guys want to call me right now and let me know what it's like where you are, we'll take your calls at 210-599-5555. But several people have already called and said 46 out in that area is okay right now, that it's passable. And I was very concerned about the construction there, 46 and 281. But, Sean, as you get down 281 toward Bitters, that always has water that, at the very least, when you have a heavy rainfall, it moves out onto the right two lanes on 281 southbound. So if you're trying to get downtown San Antonio, be aware of that. Doesn't seem like it's overrun right now, and if you guys are out there, you can let me know for sure. The big area started out west, and that's where the focus of this is going to be for the next 3 days, is going to be out west of here. You get to Hondo, Quihee, and that whole area all the way up to Bandera, over to Sabinal, and you get over to the Sabine River. You talk about Los Maples and Sabinal and that whole area over there. That whole Twisted Sisters area, 335, 336, 337, has been inundated with about almost a foot of rain.
God.
Almost a
Wow.
foot in one night.
Right,
and
right.
We're just getting started. Keep that in mind. We're just starting. So that's the thing about this is it's just beginning now, and it's going to go until Thursday. So, and it's I hate to tell you this, but it's going to be heavier tomorrow in some pockets. I mean, even much heavier tomorrow in some pockets. So we are seeing it build in over San Antonio right now, where it's the east side of San Antonio was not receiving a whole lot of it. It was, off to the west all night long. Now it's across San Antonio and over to the east side of San Antonio now. And this situation up in Comal County that I've been watching pretty much all night, it just developed, and that big cell just kind of camped out there. And that starts over in Bulverde, comes across the 1863 area, ends up over in Garden Ridge on I-35, and then it moves northward pretty much into New Braunfels. And so I haven't had any direct reports about streets and whatever in New Braunfels, but you got a lot of areas there that can be a problem. And then, of course, you got the Guadalupe River, which is going to be you got to be very careful about that as well.
You know which is the big problem, where they don't have the drainage going down and coming up to Business 35.
Well, yeah, that's always a problem.
That's done right now, guaranteed.
Yeah, and that's center city of New Braunfels is what he's talking about. San Antonio Street runs right along there, and you typically get a lot of flooding there along San Antonio Street before you get to the courthouse and the town square downtown. So you got to be aware of that. That's the New Braunfels area. And then you get out, in some of the other areas around us. If you're trying to come in on Highway 90, I would just be extremely careful, y'all. We've had a ton of rain that's fallen on Highway 90 from Castroville all the way out to Uvalde, really beyond Uvalde. If you want to draw a line all the way to Del Rio, we've had an amazing amount of rain that's fallen on Highway 90. So those of you, like Highway 90, Ray, my friend, and the rest of you, if you're trying to get into town today on 90, be very, very careful this morning because you're going to have some serious issues along there. And we had the tragic situation where we had a guy drown at Lackland a couple of days ago when it rained. And I'm looking at a big cell right in the Lackland area right now. So that's also an issue. The entire city of San Antonio is being rained on right now. Now, it's not super heavy everywhere, okay?
Right.
But there are pockets of heavy rainfall, and it continues to rain straight up 281. You go up to Timberwood Park. They've had hours of it at this point in that area, just north of San Antonio. And then over again, I talk about that 1863 area. And it goes all the way up to San Marcos and so on. So this is the beginning of something that's going to stick with us for a while. The air has been just charging with, like I said, the Gulf of America.
Isn't it nice to say it that way? The Gulf of America.
Yeah, it's been coming ashore now for days.
Right.
And just needed something to punch a hole in it. And guess what? We got something that punched a hole in it, and now it's just going to continue to replenish itself. I'm very concerned about Del Rio and Uvalde and those places. I'm very concerned about that.
Well, and here in town, one thing I've noticed about living here is, you're right. You could be cruising along thinking you're fine, and you're just going to go through a shallow puddle, and it's nothing. There's nothing shallow about it, and all of a sudden you're in a bad situation,
and virtually every road that we have in San Antonio is possibly under construction.
Well, that's right.
It seems that way, yeah.
No,
absolutely.
No, you're
Be
right about that.
observant, because that pools.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what happens. Those barricades, they don't have any give to them, no drainage. And so the crews were not working on 35 this morning, and that's why, because they were anticipating this flooding. But you got to be. And again on 1604, same thing, because you've got all those barricades on 1604.
Right.
There's a huge problem there. So the entire area is under rainfall right now. And you may have a little pocket where it's not, but those are few and far between, and it's filling in as we go on this morning. So we'll continue to cover it. You can call us at 210-599-5555, 210-599-5555. What do you see? Where are you? And what do you see? Love to hear from you. Amity Bank, they're here to make sure that you get the services that you need for your family and for your small business, and it can be both. In our case, with Nancy and myself, we've been banking with Amity for over 15 years now. It started out this way. We had our mortgage on our home. Interest rates went down. We thought, maybe we'll just refi the mortgage and try to save some money. Boy, did they. They saved us a lot of money by refiing our mortgage. And then we started to do more business with Amity. We had a little more funds to put in there, and so we did that, and it grew. And then the next thing you knew, we had the businesses going. And as the businesses grew, we needed some more business services from our bank. And Amity came right along with Business Beyond, and man, did they fit the bill. We are really in great shape with the services they are providing. Our small business, we get the same types of services that the big boys get without the big boy prices. So check them out. That's Amity Bank. They're ready for you today. Michelle, where are you and what do you see, Michelle? What's going on?
Hey, Trey. I live out in Bulverde, so Smithson Valley. I made it to San Antonio, but Smithson Valley is totally shut down, and there are cars stuck at Stony Ridge. And so just don't go that way. You can only go through the Hidden Ranch or Hidden whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's it.
Wire houses are. Yeah, so yeah, can't go the other way. So we're at 3 and swelling water. So
Michelle, can you answer something for me? Right there at 1863 in Smithson Valley, where it goes down, they were building a bridge. Is that bridge complete yet? Can you answer that?
not quite.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It is concrete now, but it's not open.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
When I went through there a couple of weeks ago, it was still not completed. Thank you, Michelle. Please drive safe. Kathy, where are you and what do you see?
Actually, right now I'm on 46 to 31, but I was just calling at 1863 and Smithson Valley. They do have it completely shut down. The firemen said there was 2 feet of water over the road there.
Yeah. Okay, Kathy.
46 to 21 is open, so.
46 and 281 is open, right? And that's where the construction is. You got through the construction okay?
Yeah. Not a problem at all.
Good.
It's wide open.
Thank you, Kathy. Drive carefully. What they're talking about, Sean, is right there at 281, 1863, and then across that whole area. It's a beautiful drive.
Right.
But there is a creek that runs across there, and when it just rains a little bit, and the problem with it is it's always a flash flood. You're fine. It's dry, and the next thing you know, a literal wall of water comes.
Right.
And we had a few people get washed away a couple of years ago. They thought they were fine, and they were driving through there. And next thing you know, they're down the road.
You see that a lot on Bandera and in my part of the world too, where you just come up because we got all those creeks going underneath Bandera.
You sure do.
Just come up on that water, and you don't know it's coming, man.
Yeah. All right, Ron, where are you, and what do you see, Ron?
Well, I'm near Castroville. All I've got to say is we're not going to have Nelson Wolf get on TV this time and tell us that the dam at Medina Lake is going to break, and then have the sheriff banging on our doors telling us we are under a mandatory evacuation like in 2002.
I remember it very well, Ron. I remember Nelson going out there and standing there at Medina Dam and saying, everybody, look out, here it comes. You're not going to have to worry about this time. We got a long way to go before Medina Lake gets, recharged enough to have that problem. But this rainfall, I am told by the experts, is going to look a lot like July of 2002. So, all right, quick break. More Ware and Rima coming up. Here you go. Periods of rain and thunderstorms, significant flash flooding possible through Thursday. 82 today, 79 tomorrow, 77 now. KTSA. This rain situation is going to continue for the next couple of days. In fact, it'll probably be a little more intense tomorrow and then slack off a little bit on Thursday. By the time we get to the weekend, it's all going to be over with, but we'll all have to get outside with our mowers by this weekend and cut away.
Oh, my wife's sunflowers are going to be like 30 feet tall.
Probably. Probably so. Anyway, we'll continue our coverage. What do you got?
Oh, well, we had some political news yesterday. We were just talking off air about how the president has announced he's going to speak to the nation at 9 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday, 8 o'clock our time. Well, he's a primetime guy. He wants the most eyes on him as possible. So we were talking about it's kind of late for you and me. Mm-hmm. But he appeared a couple of times yesterday, did a brief press conference in the Oval Office. At the Grand Prix, no, I'm not a racing guy.
You're not?
Okay? I don't understand a lot of this racing stuff.
I thought you were.
So Grand Prix yesterday, does that literally means there's going to be a car race through the district? Uh-huh. Is that where they're having it?
Right in front of the Capitol.
When are they doing this exactly?
August. Like they do in Austin, right?
Well, they do it all over, but the end of August, they're going to set up the barricades and the Indy cars. Same guys who run the Indy 500.
Right.
Now think about this. This is what I was telling you off the air a minute ago. In 2 months' time, he's had a major UFC fight bout and an IndyCar race in downtown D.C. in front of the White House and the Capitol. Well, this guy is he's amazing.
He is. This one kind of slipped by me. I heard it on my periphery, but I didn't really think about it too much until I heard him say, Pennsylvania Avenue is a great place for a race. I'm like, what? You're going to have it there?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Is Monaco the most famous Grand Prix?
It is, Jimmy, but it's kind of fallen down. It's not as popular as it once was.
But if I know the name, I was like, that has to be the most famous one.
Oh yeah, Monaco's been my favorite forever.
Wow.
But it's not as popular now. In fact, they didn't have it Memorial Day this year like they always do.
So what did they do? What do they use in Austin and then in Vegas? They had something like that.
Yeah, and they do. In Austin, they have a full-time track. Okay, it's called COTA, Circuit of the Americas, and they hold events all the time. What we're talking about here is what's called a temporary street circuit. They bring in barricades and they set up barricades.
Yeah, they did that in Vegas.
They do it in Vegas every year.
And the manhole flew off in Vegas and caused that big accident, so they got to double check the manholes in D.C.
We used to do it here. In the 80s, we used to have it downtown San Antonio, the San Antonio Grand Prix. And
we only had like 3 years or 2 years of it. I went to one when I was a kid.
It was 3 years. And what they have to do is, because I did the broadcast for it every year in the 80s, this was the mid to late 80s, they have to weld those manhole covers down.
Wow.
Or they will fly up.
Normally in Northern Virginia, in Annapolis, where I grew up, we have golf cart races, golf cart races. So that's kind of cool. But he talked a lot about, the blockade's back on. We've been bombing the crap out of the Iranians for 3 days in a row. He was talking yesterday about how he expects to be compensated by a lot of the nations in the region who are, benefiting from our largesse and our military. I thought that was interesting. I mean, I don't know if that's going to – I mean, I hope that happens, but I don't know.
Well, he's talking about taking over and being the guardian angel of the Strait of Hormuz.
Guardian of the Strait.
And he wants 20% to be the guardian, 20% of everything that flows through the Strait. Now, a month ago, he was telling Iran you can't charge anything, and now he's saying we're going to charge. He's not going to charge anything. But if he did, I was looking at some numbers this morning, that'd be about $200 billion into our treasury every year if he did that. And our employee salaries for all government employees, if you took all the government employees per year, you're at $190 billion. So if he took $200 billion out of the Strait of Hormuz, he could pay for all the government workers in America.
You pay for the entire government in that sense. So I kind of chuckled when I heard that. Yeah, we're going to be compensated 20%. We're going to be the guardians of the Strait. Even though, you're right. A few weeks ago, you're saying there is nobody runs the Strait. It's the property of the world, right? It's open water. But now we're going to be the guardians of the Strait.
That's a mafioso move.
It's a mafioso move.
Always scheming. Worse than a Sicilian.
I wouldn't want nothing to happen to your fancy little cargo ship while you're going through the Strait. So maybe you ought to pay my guy a visit first.
He's just. Everybody read The Art of the Deal. If you've read that book, and I've read it 4 or 5 times, you'll understand what he's doing.
Right.
You'll get it. You'll look at it and go, okay, I understand now. This is what he does.
What we're hearing, I forget who it was yesterday that was talking about the anaconda idea.
Newt Gingrich.
It was Newt Gingrich. That's right. Where you squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze until they can't breathe, basically, economically. And that's what he says is going on.
That's what Lincoln did to the South when they seceded. And he just said, well, I'm going to squeeze you until I can't squeeze you no more. And that's what he's doing to them. He's just squeezing them until eventually they go pop. Okay, we're still watching this. I was just looking at UTSA Boulevard and I-10. A lot of water there on I-10 and UTSA. The same thing at 1604 and I-10, 1604 and that looks like Blanco to me, and then on over a little further where all the construction is right there between 281 and 35 on 1604. There's a lot of standing water there as well. Southbound I-35, the right lanes, you're starting to see that standing water develop there. The pattern of this rain has settled completely over San Antonio now. Out to our west, there's some pockets out there that may have, looks like, received about a foot of rain overnight. In San Antonio proper right now, inside of 1604, it's raining in pretty much all the places, although you may have a dead spot or whatever, but it's only temporary. This is the way it's going to be for the next 3 days, today, tomorrow, and a little bit on Thursday, where as soon as it clears out, another pocket builds in over top of it. So
I'm going to put a green screen behind you. You're looking very Bill Taylor.
You are.
Yeah, really.
It's also,
very animated.
It's also like an easy gig for me because I get lost in my own neighborhood. So I just let him talk. You should have a blue screen where you can point this stuff out, man, on the computer.
It's in my head. I have my eyes closed.
Yeah,
yes.
don't close your eyes. You look like a savant.
But I'm thinking this stuff through. Go ahead, Christian.
I'm supposed to be the news guy, and I'm embarrassed this morning. I had to ask you how to say queehee.
He's always done this.
He's a weather nerd, dude. He's a weather nerd.
And the reason I know that was I was there a couple of months ago. I married Brandon McCall and his wife in the gun club dance hall. Okay, Jimmy, I'll wrap it up. More in a minute. KTSA.
Can I get to talk?
Eric, where are you and what do you see? Okay, Eric, I'm going to come back to you in just a second. Craig, where are you and what do you see?
Hey, Airport Boulevard and 410, there's a massive accident that just happened in front of me. That water is not high, but it's hydroplaning.
Mm.
Did you say 410 and Airport Boulevard?
Yes.
Okay, 410 and Airport Boulevard. Please try to avoid that area due to that accident. Eric, where are you and what do you see?
I'm at 1863 in Beck Road, and just letting you know there's a major accident up here, and the Cibolo is flooded over the road.
The Cibolo is flooded. Okay, that's the one I keep talking about right at the county line there, guys. If you can stay off of 1863, that's the best move you could make today. And that's going to be that. Look, we're going to deal with this for the next 3 days between now and Thursday, midday, early afternoon on Thursday. So this is going to be the drill throughout the day today. This is not like a storm system that's coming through and then it's gone. That's the thing to keep in mind, y'all, is it's going to continue to build behind it and build behind it. Now, right now on the northeast side, we're virtually without rain. We got a few drops here and there.
Right.
But we're virtually without rain here. But it's going to build back, and there'll be more of it that's going to come through. In fact, more of it has built in the past few minutes, all the way up I-10 through Bernie right now. And then we've got more out west of us, again, building down around Devine to the southwest of San Antonio, coming back up to 90 right now and expanding all the way back up in Medina County to Medina itself. And the same thing is true. Been talking about this area of Comal County that's between 281 and 35 from Bulverde all the way over to Garden Ridge, that area there. We had heavy rainfall earlier. It kind of diminished a little bit. Now the heavy rain is starting to build back in that area as well. That's how this pattern is going to play out. Is as soon as it rains out a little bit, there'll be some more that's going to come in behind it. A lot of it is building out to the west around Del Rio and so on.
Right.
And it just kind of fills in throughout San Antonio and off to our east side. We even had heavy rainfall earlier today at Loop 410 and 87. That's kind of slacked off a little bit right now, but there'll be more that's going to build in a little bit later on. Areas of concern, again, everybody's calling in about 1863, 281, that whole area up there around the county line. He was just talking about the Cibolo is now across 1863. That's always a major concern. So you want to try to avoid that and go somewhere else. A lot of people are getting through okay on 46 right now, so doesn't seem to be a big deal. But we have on 35 southbound at Walsham. Now we got an accident on southbound, and another one just happened on northbound, so you've got some accidents on 35 due to all the construction that's holding water in those right-hand lanes. And the same thing is true 281 southbound. You get to Brook Hollow and then up to Bitters, and those two right-hand lanes fill up full of water, and they're full of water right now.
Right.
And so traffic is backed up for days on 281 southbound of that area.
And we want to repeat, we just got a call, 410 and Airport Boulevard. There's he just saw an accident happen. The water is not that deep, but it's enough to hydroplane, and apparently somebody did. So if you're in that area, 410 and Airport Boulevard, there is an accident there.
And that's what's going on is you think you're fine because you're driving along fine, and then you hit a huge puddle of water, and it's not a puddle, it's a mini lake. And the next thing you know, you're on top of the water, not driving through it. East side of San Antonio, you got the construction at Walsham and I-35. That's a big problem. We have flood warnings that are continuing now in Medina and Bandera and Uvalde out to our west and Comal from Bulverde over to Garden Ridge. In fact, I'll go ahead and check here real quick with the Weather Service to see what the latest is on some of these warnings and watches that we've had throughout the night tonight. Here we go. Let's pull this up and see if there's a new one. No, Devine down to our south, and Moore and Yancey until 11 o'clock this morning. So that's down to our southwest. So that whole western sector outside of San Antonio has got some serious issues. This is north of Pearsall. So you're talking about Devine, you're talking about Bigfoot, you're talking about Moore and Yancey. Heavy rainfall in that area as well. The map is just covered everywhere across San Antonio right now. What happens, Sean, is it'll rain itself out, and you think that it's okay because it just basically stops for a few minutes, and then it builds back in behind it with more.
So we're just going to have rain, and then it'll go away, and then we'll have more rain, and this is going to happen through Thursday. Wow.
That's right. And after that, we're going to be dealing with runoff for quite some time.
Yeah.
And the people down in Cuero, they understand this. They understand what they're going to be dealing with about a day or two from right now because it all goes south. And so this stuff is going to eventually end up in the rivers and end up in the Guadalupe. It's going to end up in the Cibolo Creek. And I want to warn you again about Cibolo Creek out there on I-35 when you're talking about it running next to Evans Road. A lot of people are trying to take Evans. We had a guy call earlier who's trying to get to Seguin. He took 281 to Evans Road. That runs right along Cibolo Creek, and that's where it goes underneath 35 at Gilman Honda. That's always an issue when we have a lot of rain. Now, it's not an issue at the moment, but you want to be aware of it because that is just like Splashtown. Those areas fill up with water real quick, and now you got water and all that construction there as well. So
Vital Creek.
Vital Creek off Parent Vital, northeast side of San Antonio. That's where we unfortunately lost 13 lives last year, total of 15 because you had 2 over on the 151 area. So, yeah, you want to be aware of that too. And just, you know, if you have to go out in these areas where this rain is coming down, give yourself plenty of time and do not get in a rush because you don't want to be racing along and hit that wall of water.
No, you sure don't, because that what looks like a little puddle becomes a wall that you run into, and all of a sudden you're stuck in your car, and things can go bad. As we found out time and time again, it can go bad really, really quickly. You know, we say it all the time, turn around, don't drown. You know, it's a good way to remember that.
It is real simple, but it's life-saving.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's not just your life that we're talking about here, guys. I mean, you know, I always say, and this is kind of harsh, but if you do it to yourself, that's your thing. But there's always guys in a big red truck that are going to come behind, and they got to get in that water and try to get you out of that water. And you don't need to be in danger. I'm talking about the fire guys.
Well, right. First responders have to go in there and get you out, you know.
That's right. And you don't need to be endangering them just because you felt like you had to be somewhere really important. And I'm looking right now in the New Braunfels area. It's still raining pretty good in the New Braunfels area, but particularly down to the southwest of New Braunfels, you've had some heavy rainfall. That's over in the Timberwood Park area, 281. It's kind of lightening up right now. But as you go out toward 46 and 281, you've got another cell that's building in there over Bernie, and it's going to be heading off to the east now. A lot of this stuff is forming off to our west and heading off to our east. And it does kind of look a lot like the conditions are for July of 2002. We had 2 major rainfalls back then, Sean. We had one in 98, and it was just a disaster. It was a killer. For years after that, we found clothing in trees. We found boats. I had friends in the boat business who were going to get boats out of the top of trees.
Good Lord.
And taking them to salvage yards and things like that. And we had a repeat performance in July of 2002 where it sort of did the same kind of thing. So people have been here a while. You have gone through this. Don't know. We won't know until the end of this if it does play out to be that way. But the conditions are similar,
favorable,
eerily similar to what we went through back then. So we will continue to keep you updated. Debbie's got all the traffic stuff for you and the road closures going on. If you live in a rural area and you come through a farm-to-market road that has high water on it on a usual basis, chances are real good it's going to have high water today, and you want to stay away from that. Back in a minute, more Ware and Rima continues. KTSA, periods of heavy rain and thunderstorms, significant flash flooding, possible through Thursday. 82 today, 79 tomorrow, 75 now, KTSA.
I think you and I are both getting kind of cynical on that. Just a smidge.
Kidding?
I mean, and it's as we hear this from Jonathan from Hayward all the time. We talk to him. It's such a no-brainer. So the only reason, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, that you're fighting against fair elections, fair and legal elections in America is because you don't want fair and legal elections in America for whatever reasons.
No, this is all about, them trying to keep women from voting.
The other thing that we blocked yesterday was the SAVE Act, right? Which was literally allow this administration to rig our democracy so that it would be hard for any Democrat in any state to win any election. And disenfranchise all married women in the meantime, by the way. It just, you have to show your birth certificate at the polls if you...
That's Alyssa Slotkin. She is a Democrat Trump hater who is also a liar and a former CIA agent operative. So she's in the Senate now, continuing to be a deep state operative and saying that women won't be able to vote in America.
Yeah, where is that going on?
Nowhere.
Right. What is it? Having to show a photo ID. The chicks can't come up with a photo ID.
No, they can't.
So
bank.
I guess they can't.
Can't go to the bank.
Can't go to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Can't have a photo ID.
Can't
so
fly.
Women and black people won't be able to vote. Right.
Have you've noticed that? I mean, you're going to travel soon. I've noticed lately when I get on an airplane, there's no women on the airplane.
There's no women. There's no black people.
I went to the bank.
Hispanics.
I went to the bank for my mother-in-law a couple of days ago. There were no women in that bank.
I think trans people can't vote either if they have to show a photo ID. Well, of course, in their situation, admittedly, it can get a little confusing.
Well, yeah.
But this idea that you're somehow keeping people from voting because they have to show something they have to show on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
All right, to buy malt liquor at the convenience store, you need one of those.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
To buy a pack of cigarettes or a vape, to get on an airplane, to apply for a job.
Anything.
What don't you have to show a photo ID for? But for some reason, magically,
you ask that
you
to
don't
vote.
to vote. Magically, in only that situation does it become a difficult thing to produce.
For women.
For women and minorities, we're just shutting people out of the process.
You women are so dumb that you can't figure out how to get your ID. And none of you drive. None of the women drive. I haven't seen a woman driver in forever.
Right. But see, that speaks to the inherent insult and how the Democrats actually feel about the communities they claim to be lifting up and fighting for. They actually hold you in a lot of contempt.
That's all they got.
They really probably do believe that you're too stupid and lazy to come up with a photo ID. I heard, Ricard, you and I talked about this yesterday about how, Lindsey Graham was gay because he lived alone. He's an older guy, so he must have been gay. It's interesting how when you want to be critical of somebody, the labeling or the name of your own community that you support becomes an insult.
That's what I said yesterday.
You said it, yeah.
We started the show.
We started talking about it, like suddenly being gay is a slur.
Right, for a Democrat.
It's the same thing with voting rights,
Right.
okay? By saying this is an unfair burden you're placing on women and minorities,
Right.
you are saying they're too stupid and slow-minded to come up with a photo ID. That's inherent to the argument.
Sure. That's what she says.
It can only be a burden in that regard.
That's what they say, is that, of course, if you're going anywhere, I mean, if you're driving down the road, you have to have a picture ID in case an officer of the law pulls you over and requires you to show it. But you know what? Women don't drive. Women don't fly on airplanes. Women certainly don't go into banks. They don't know how. They're too dumb to figure. According to the Democrats, not according to me. According to Democrats, women are too dumb to even bank in America.
Apparently.
How about that, Elaine?
It's not true in my world.
Do you have one of them picture ID things?
One of them picture ID things?
Do you have one of those?
I sure do.
Well, I thought women were too dumb to figure out how to get those, huh?
It's a pretty picture.
She's Mexican and a woman. It should be doubly hard for her to come up with one.
Well, they give it to us in Braille, so we can read our name and our address.
Well, you remember I said yesterday that everybody's looking at, the whole conspiracy sphere has all blown up. No, there's no way that he could have died at 8:30 on Sunday night or Saturday night because there's no way his plane would have arrived by that time.
Oh, yes, I heard that.
But I said, no, here's the deal. Don't look at Vlad. Don't look at all this other stuff. Find out who crapped can the Save America Act. And if you just, I believe it was a heart attack, but if you just have to have a conspiracy theory, there's your conspiracy theory. Whoever is derailing the Save America Act killed Lindsey Graham.
That's the more likely culprit. Somebody doesn't want fair elections in America.
Whoever it is killed him.
Well,
they killed him because they didn't want he was going to do the Save America Act today, as a matter of fact.
Was
today.
It today?
Today.
Wow.
And because he was going to do it today, whoever doesn't want the Save America Act killed Lindsey Graham. That's what happened. we now know it. It's a fact. Take it to the bank.
You know what's so stupid, though, is that there are really, really stupid people that if you just say, if you're a right Democrat and you're high enough up the food chain and you put it out there that black people and women can't vote with this thing, there are lots and lots of morons who will absolutely believe that and not question it in any way, shape, or form, even though they themselves have to produce a photo ID to do anything.
What did Goebbels say? Say it enough, say it over and over again, repeat it, and
yep.
The lie becomes the truth.
Say the same lie over and over again, and it becomes reality.
And that's where we are with this now. Okay, quick break. More Ware and Rima coming up. We'll dive back into our weather coverage and get you the latest. We're going to get a little bit of a break during the midday where things are going to be okay during the midday, but more rain in the offing for the next couple of days. Evolve Med Group, evolvemedgroup.com. These folks at Evolve can really, really do amazing things. They have helped me so much. I get around so much better than I was before, guys, and I was having a tough time. I'll admit to you, it was tough to get in and out of my vehicles. It was tough to sit for an hour at lunch and then try to stand up after that and try to walk somewhere because of my arthritis in my hips and my knees. And if you led a very active life, too, you probably know what I'm talking about. You've probably been there, too, where you've got some arthritic pain or maybe something else is causing you some issues. Go see my friends Rodney, Mari, and the entire team at Evolve Med Group and let them help you. If you have pain or limited movement, they have things like PRP, and they have stem cell therapy. They have hormone replacement, and I'm seeing people, both men and women, who are having such huge success with hormone replacement therapy right now. They have the GLP-1 medications. They do all kinds of IV therapy, and they accept insurance for your IV therapy. Man, if you want to feel better and if you want to look better, this is your place. I'm telling you, these guys at Evolve are amazing. Just log on and mention Trey Ware when you do at evolvemedgroup.com.
A nasty storm is zeroing in on San Antonio, and you need to be
At 7:35 now, Ware and Rima, KTSA. Now, out west of San Antonio, we had a tremendous amount of rainfall overnight, right at a foot in some areas, guys. And so you go back to 4612 over there at Quihee, where you're trying to get up that area north of Hondo, and you're seeing some tremendous flooding there. And that's out west, and that's going to continue to build. Now, for us here, we've had some heavy rainfall in the San Antonio area inside of 1604 for the past couple of hours. Now, Sean, what I see here is it's going to start to kind of break up between 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere along in there. And it looks like the middle of the day we could get some breathing space in our area all the way around San Antonio. Right. So we should be okay in the middle of the day. And then more of it begins to build in a little bit later on because we're going to get some more of those afternoon showers that begin to build behind that with the heating and stuff. Although, I say heating, 82 for the high today, so enjoy that. 79-ish for the high tomorrow, so really enjoy that too. Because when this shuts off and the weekend gets here and the sun comes back out, you know what's going to happen. That humidity is going to go straight up, and you're going to feel it, and you're going to have to get out and mow the grass.
You're going to have to rent a goat.
Yeah, rent a goat. I was going to say, because their lawns are going to be 9 feet deep.
Yeah.
You know, and everything's going to be – that's one thing I love about South Texas, though, is that after you get a really soaking rain, everything just explodes as far as the vegetation.
Turns green.
It's amazing to watch.
I was getting mine in yesterday at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I was mowing. And I'm out there running around trying to get the front yard done, Sean. And I busted the sole on my tennis shoe.
Oh, no.
And it was flopping, and I looked like I was one of those clowns with the big feet, you know, because I was walking behind my mower. Flop, flop, flop.
That's funny.
But I got it done.
That and you burned your feet.
I did burn
There's a reason
feet.
I call you Taz.
Yeah, I did burn
Tasmanian devil. That's right.
I thought the coals on the grill had burned out enough and they were cool, and I lifted the grill out of there to throw the coals away in my bucket, and no, they hadn't gone completely out, so they landed on my feet and burned my feet.
That'll do it, Trey.
It sure did. Ow. But the fajitas were great.
I do like how when we get big rains like this, it sort of cleans the streets.
It does.
Like a lot of the trash and stuff, but I know the city people have to go clean that up, but it looks cleaner at least after a big rain.
Because they don't clean them on a regular basis.
They don't clean them on a regular basis. There's all kinds of overgrown ditches and stuff.
Oh, it's terrible. That's what happened to Bido Creek last year.
Right.
Had a bunch of crap and trash in it. And so it had nowhere to go, and it just killed people.
We got a lot of people out of doors, too, and you see just piles of crap all over the place. I hate to be so blunt, but that's exactly what it is.
So anyway, guys, that's where we are now, and we've got the flooding that's continuing. We're going to continue to update you on this. It is life-threatening for the next couple of days. Be cognizant of that. Be aware of it. Debbie's telling you where. I've been trying to tell you where as well. 281 between Brook Hollow and Bitters. The right lanes there are full of water as we speak. Walsham and I-35, the right-hand lanes are a lake at this point. You got to keep an eye on all those areas that you know that build up over time. And now that we're starting to get the daylight, you can start to see where that water is. Please, again, I don't want to sound like daddy. I ain't preaching at you, but don't go through that water. It never turns out well. So please don't do that.
At least the sun's coming up so people can see a little bit
you
better.
start to see a little bit better
at night.
That's right. But it's, look, we're going to have more build in later this afternoon, and then we'll have more tonight overnight and tomorrow morning. I hate to tell you this, but tomorrow potentially could be more rain.
Right.
More precipitation tomorrow. So just stay close to us, and we'll get you the information as much as we can. I did want to mention a couple of news stories real quick here because the rain is kind of dissipating a little bit in San Antonio, and we'll see it back off a little bit more, so be careful. The Trump speech this Thursday at 8 o'clock our time, there's been a lot of discussion. He's going to talk about going back into Iran and that we're going to bomb the heck out of Iran and this, that, and the other, and maybe bring up Lindsey Graham. I'm hearing something completely different.
What are you hearing?
I'm hearing that this is going to focus on Georgia and election fraud and 2020 and election fraud. And I'm hearing that there's a possibility, and I don't know this for a fact. So this is the word I'm getting, is that he is going to say something. He's going to have like Kash Patel there. He wouldn't have Kash Patel if it was Iran.
That's interesting. Right.
And the DNI, if it was Iran, he wouldn't have Bill Pulte wouldn't be there, but Pulte is going to be there. I'm being told that this is going to focus on election irregularity in 2020, that they have uncovered the truth of how they stole 2020 to the point where, I don't know. Again, I'm not saying this is going to happen, guys, okay? So don't run down the road on me. But I'm hearing that there could be something about the two senators from Georgia, Ossoff and Warnock, being illegitimate senators because of the vote. Remember, when the president got on the phone and said, "I need you to find those 11,000 votes because they're missing," well, they found them apparently, and much more. And he won Georgia in a big, big way in 2020. He won the presidential election in 2020.
Oh, I agree.
I think that's what
did
Thursday's
see some stuff about that on Breitbart yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
About those two particular senators.
Did they bring it up on Breitbart?
Yeah, they did. That the president was saying they were illegitimate because apparently of whatever they've learned. Hey, I'm all for it, man.
Sure, expose it. Bring it out.
It's about damn time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. If that's what this is, then let's do it. The other one is a local story. This has to do with the DA dismissing these charges against James Brennan.
Oh, yeah.
The cop who 4 years ago shot Eric Cantu. And if you ask any police officer, they have at least a mental list, nothing officially or written down, but all police officers across the world have this list of what they call POSs.
Yeah,
okay?
we know what that means.
They can name their POSs, and they know when they come across a guy whether he's a POS, and they are very careful about POSs because a POS will kill a cop really fast. And so the cops, they got a list, they got a short list in their brain, and you come across this guy, he's a POS, and watch out. Well, I'm told by police officers in SAPD and surrounding areas that's what Eric Cantu was. He was a POS as far as they were concerned, and they were on the alert.
And has he been involved with the law since this all happened?
7 times.
7 times.
Again, this talks to something I talk about all the time. And as judges that continue to release these POSs back to the street, and this one got arrested last night.
Oh, last night?
Last night.
Yep.
7 times since he was shot by Brennan.
And
right?
I know about last night.
Our DA is famous for
right.
letting him go.
Well, and now I'm going to tell you why in just a second, because I know why he did that in this case. But you got James Brennan, the cop, who had no backup from internal police now, and he said the Brotherhood is gone. This is what he said yesterday. The Brotherhood is gone. He said, I'm not even sure I want to go back and be a cop anymore.
I'm sorry, I believe that. Yeah,
I totally believe it.
Yeah.
He faced life in prison for a justified shooting, by the way, because that, again, a car is a deadly weapon. And if you are using that car that way and the cop pulls, guys,
get out of the car.
Get out of the car. Put your hands up. If the cop, do what the cop tells you to do. And he told that kid to get out. Anyway, he's been in and out of trouble so many times you can't even count anymore. 7 times since he was shot 4 years ago.
Right.
Apparently was having trouble with his girlfriend and was threatening her back in June. And then last night at Gold's Gym, cops come up to him, and what does he do? What did he do? Does anybody know what he did? He ran. Tried to evade arrest last night, and they arrested him last night. Same dude, same issues, same problem here.
And weren't that, because I know Nico was his co-counsel, the cop, but wasn't the reason the charges were dropped is because of new investigations?
No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why they dropped it.
I mean, that's the official thing they're saying.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
A new investigation has new information, and that's why they're doing it.
That's what they're saying. I'm going to tell you why. Nico was he was subpoenaing everybody in the DA's office, including the DA,
and
everybody at the Wren Collective in Austin.
Yeah. And they got worried.
And he was, because Nico, being as smart as he is, he was going.
The Wren Collective.
I'm going to right now. Years ago, the Wren Collective started as a nonprofit that wanted to show Soviet propaganda films in the United States. They were going to go around the country and show these propaganda films around a pro-communist Soviet propaganda film.
Right.
And then they decided to take a different tact, and they decided to go after police after what happened with George Floyd and all that, because there's a lot of money, and their budget, suddenly their intake went from almost $0 a year to $73 million a year because they went after cops. They started to say, let's go after police officers.
It was the popular thing to do back then.
So there's a lot of talk downtown that the DA was working with the Wren Collective on Mr. Brennan, and that Nico said, okay, 2 can play that game. I'm going to subpoena the Wren Collective and let them go, Joe. And we're going to put them on the stand, and we're going to find out exactly what kind of relationship they had. Was the Wren Collective working with the DA on the Brennan case? And that's when they went, you know what? Let's just drop that. Let's move on. Let's find something else to do.
It makes sense because I was having trouble figuring out the argument for dropping the charges based upon what they were claiming this new investigation was. It just seemed weird, you know. Not that I wanted the cop to go to jail or to be convicted, because I agree with you. I mean, I've read about the case and the basic facts of that case. You know what you're dealing with. But I didn't really get the argument until what you were just saying now. Now the clouds kind of parted and it makes sense.
Well, we all know this about Nico. He's a total badass. Okay?
Nico LaHood is a badass.
And he's quiet about it.
He's very attractive.
You know what? I'm not gay, but I'd agree with you. He is a very good-looking man. I've taken his advice on personal matters over the years. I mean, he's a really good guy. I have a lot of respect for Nico.
So he wanted to find out under oath the relationship between the DA's office and the Wren Collective and were they working together.
Right.
And the DA's office said, you know what? We've got some other issues.
So our former DA was acting like a DA should.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a good observation.
That's right.
Former
Nico
DA.
was acting like a DA. You're absolutely right. He was a great DA. Were you going to say something, Christian?
Yeah, just going to go back early on to the shooting. I had just come to KTSA a few months before the shooting happened, and one of a major detail that just got very little coverage was that the night before the shooting, Brennan had been going after a car that matched that description, and
correct.
It was
the same car.
It was the guy.
So he was actually going after a fugitive.
Well, that's why I was saying they have a list, and they call them POS. Okay.
Yep.
And they knew that he was on the POS list.
And he had interacted with him the night before.
Correct.
He saw him in the fast food. I forget what fast food joint it was, but he was in the restaurant parking lot, and he knew the car, and he knew he could see the guy inside.
That's right. So how many times have we talked about these guys that get, in fact, it wasn't that long ago, just a few months ago, he got deferred adjudication for 2 years on another thing. They just keep giving him.
Just a couple months ago, yep.
And I don't know what he holds over these people downtown that they continue to let him go. Okay, go ahead.
It's mystifying.
And he's the type of guy that I won't say anymore, but that's the type of deal where years later we sit here and go, we need to hold these judges accountable. We have it happening right here in Bexar County with this particular individual, in my humble opinion.
No, I agree. Absolutely.
And so we're sitting here watching this happen, and if you want to know the truth, they dismissed the charges yesterday not because he got involved in an altercation with his girlfriend, but because Nico had subpoenaed the Wren Collective and the DA, and he wanted to put them on the stand and go, raise your right hand and repeat after me and tell me the truth.
Because it was a very, I'm not a legal expert, but the official reason for why they dropped the charges just seemed really strange to me, frankly.
Let me tell you about Stevens Roofing in San Antonio. Okay, been talking about this for a couple of days now, right? And with all this rain around here, you want to, as soon as you can, have Stevens Roofing come out and look at your roof. Probably on Friday, maybe. I don't know. Whenever they can get there, as soon as they can, have them take a look at your roof, because if you have roof damage from these storms that come through here, you want to get that taken care of right away, and Stevens can do that for you. They've been doing this for over 40 years. Locally owned and experienced in local roofing matters, and that is a difference maker right there. For over 40 years, people like me have trusted Stevens Roofing, and I know you can trust them as well, with honest inspections, professional workmanship that you can count on. Whether you're talking about composition roofing, which is the shingles, or you want to put a metal roof on that place, I'll tell you, the metal roofs are just gorgeous, and they can do it in all kinds of colors and designs. You're just going to love the look of their metal roofs that they do for you at Stevens Roofing, and so much more. When it comes to roofs in San Antonio and South Texas, there's only one name you need to know: Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. Periods of heavy rain and thunderstorms, significant flash flooding possible through Thursday. 82 today, 79 tomorrow, 75 now. KTSA. wet. There's a lot of rain that happened over to our west. A lot of rain happened over San Antonio. We have some flooded streets around town. We're updating you on all of that. This is going to be the pattern for the next 2 days, so stay safe.
A couple of things. Just, we're going to get back into the news here over the next hour. We got kind of a little bit of a breathing space with the rain. Very quickly, Darlene Graham Nordone, Lindsey Graham's sister, was appointed yesterday by Governor Henry McMaster of South Carolina to hold his seat, basically, to hold his senator seat until November. People were screaming and yelling about how she doesn't have an experience. She's some kind of commissioner. She works in the government. I mean, she'll be fine. she'll do just fine until November. And
she can't do any worse than any of the rest of them.
Well, yes.
Give me a break.
Not to mention, she obviously would know her brother better than anybody else as far as what he would want to do and what his wishes were. So I thought it was a good move. It's an honorable move.
Of course it is.
And
everybody's talking nepotism, and that's fine.
No,
whatever you want to say about that.
It's till November. She's not saying she doesn't want to run. It's just till November. She'll be fine. The other thing, this is not a news story, but I saw this when we first got in here, and you were dealing with the storms. It's something I keep hearing, and it was on Fox News. Somebody wrote an op-ed piece about it, that 40 is no longer considered middle age. That 40 is no longer considered middle age, and I'm not exactly sure what that's about, if it's because people feel younger or people are living healthier lives.
40's new 20, man.
No, it isn't, Trey. Let me burst this bubble right now.
Oh, come on.
Here's exactly what I think. I think a lot of Gen Zers who are now pushing 30 and entering their 30s, and they still haven't really started their little lives.
Come on.
40 is absolutely freaking middle age.
No.
Yes, it is. If you live to be 80, 40 is right smack dab in the middle. So get your crap together. All right? You're going to be 40 soon.
I'm 62, and I don't feel a day over 35.
I'm 58,
Thank you,
and I feel 84, okay? it's all how you feel, but I'm telling you.
But that's life choices.
Gen Z, 40 is middle age, okay? You've lived half your stupid lives.
No, you
get it together and do something.
Sean, you realize by the time that they make it to my age, the life expectancy will be 120.
I don't care. This is bad messaging for a generation that needs to move out of the TV room, okay? 40 is middle age.
They need to follow the science, and science, math is a science, by the way.
Yes.
Follow the science. Half is half.
Half is half. If you want to live to be 80 and you're going to shoot for around 80,
well, that's why I'm saying
40 is middle of the road. But you're halfway there, baby.
But what I'm trying to tell you is, by the time they get there, 60 will be middle of the road.
I don't care, Trey.
Life expectancy will be 120.
I don't want them putting adulthood off any longer. 40 is middle-aged. Get your S together. All right?
Get out of the house, Sean.
I'm just saying.
Sean doesn't want you living around the house anymore. Get out.
It's not. It's for like the droopy, mopey looking weirdos at the Walmart. You know, the Gen Zers all around my neighborhood.
Wait a minute. When you said droopy, why did you look at me? I don't.
You're not. You don't.
I have nothing drooping.
You're quite spry.
But you. Is that what we call it?
You're spry, Trey.
Okay.
Just saying. 40's middle age.
We have to break now because Jimmy's throwing his arms in the air like I'm trying to land a 747.
About timing, people.
All right. More Ware and Rima coming up. KTSA.
The Ramsey reality check is
I did not say that. That's not what I said.
It is.
No, it's not.
Your video.
Let me turn my mic on.
When we did our video this morning, I stumbled over the word rain, and it sounds like I said wet rain, but what I said was rain, rain.
Wet rain coming our way.
So tell me, Trey, how long have you known that rain is wet? I didn't say, it sounds like it honestly sounds like wet rain, but I stumbled over rain. I said rain.
We are well aware here on the KTSA Morning Show that rain is wet.
Yes, and you need to take an umbrella.
On the video, it sounds like you said wet rain.
I understand. I know that's what it sounds.
Go check it out.
I know that's what it sounds like, but that's not what I said, Elaine.
Trey didn't know rain was wet.
So, you know, it's kind of like our AccuWeather guy. If you're going outside today, take an umbrella with you because
Right.
there's rain that could be falling from the sky.
An umbrella will keep water off of you.
It's kind of like the other day when it was 110 degrees. He's going, make sure you don't get in the sun. That if you're in the sun, you drink water.
Make sure
no,
you
he just
hydrate.
said stay hydrated.
Good
He didn't specify water.
Don't forget the light-colored clothing.
Light-colored clothing.
That's racist.
See? That is racist, Christian.
I'm trying to save lives here.
We are the masters of no, I almost said something else. We are the masters.
Don't get tongue-tied now.
We are the masters of having a lot of verbiage to say nothing.
Yeah, well, you know, it's what we do for a living.
A lot of cliches.
We have time we got to fill, I guess. Anyway.
We're going to circumambulate back to the original topic.
Wow.
Now,
Spell that one, boys and
circumambulate,
girls.
isn't that what Prattner was doing in the porta potties? Was he circumambulating?
No, he may have walked around it a few times contemplating.
Okay.
That would be circumambulating.
All right,
That's
so
gross.
look, it's going to begin to clear up as the day goes on, and we're going to have a hole in the middle of the day where you're going to be able to get around and be all right, but that doesn't mean the water's going to recede.
The water will plug that hole
Yeah.
eventually.
All right, now.
In the evening.
All right, now
This whole segment feels dirty.
I'm trying to get serious. So, anyway, where was I? We
Turn
have
around, don't
southbound 35 at Walsham, the right 2 lanes. We have 281 between Brook Hollow and Bitters, the right 2 lanes. But otherwise, my buddy from Airport Security Park, David, he just reached out to me. He comes in from Canyon Lake. It's all good coming down 281, except for the right-hand lanes there at Bitters where it always fills up with water.
And that water's wet, right?
It's wet.
Okay.
It's wet
It
water.
is very wet water.
Sometimes they have pools, so it looks like a swimming pool.
And then it turns into a pond. So that's where we are.
into a lake, and the lake into the ocean.
And then it's the Gulf of America.
But guys, really out west of us, you know, you get into Uvalde and those places over there. D'Hanis is underwater this morning. So, man, please, if you're headed out that direction, you know what to do, you know what not to do. And I'm not going to be the AccuWeather guy telling you, hey, make sure that you take an umbrella because you may get wet. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you, though, that that's an area of concern. And of course, Sean, as I always say, the FM roads, farm to market roads, because they have the low water crossings. Right. We call them that, but it's really high water because they dip down and the water runs over the road. So, 1863 out in Comal County was a problem earlier today, and it continues to be a problem there. Smithson Valley Road, they are building a bridge there, but they're not done with it. They're close, but it's not open yet. So you can forget about that. Smithson Valley Road, Bulverde Road, Smithson Valley Road, that whole 1863, it's closed. You just forget about going there. So those are the kind of places, and most of you who live in that area, you're aware of all that. You don't need some dork on the radio trying to explain that to you. You probably will have that figured out yourself, right?
And also, a bridge that is not completed cannot be used
to
cross anything.
Well, we joke, but people have gotten up on these high overpasses that are not completed.
Yeah.
And the next thing they know, they're 150 feet down on the ground. So you want to be aware of all that.
So you got to be careful because tonight it's going to rain more tonight. And then tomorrow morning it's going to be the same thing.
That's
so
right.
The places that do flood, the low water, high water, whatever you want to call it, those things are going to happen again tomorrow morning.
That's correct.
Right.
That's exactly
because
right.
it's not the rain's not going to stop till Thursday. It's going to come and go, but it's going to be there
yeah,
Thursday.
I mean, you're going to think it's over. Like right now, it's starting to lighten up in town. You think, we're done, okay. And then this afternoon, boom, you're riding home with Pags this afternoon, and you're going to be right back into another situation. Likely, okay. And that's the thing about this. It's impossible. And these computers cannot tell you exactly where the rain is going to fall. You know, they've all got their computers now. The European model is saying this, and the American model is saying that. You have no way of knowing exactly where that rain is going to fall and where it's going to land. You don't know.
The key word is modeling.
Well,
there it's basically an educated guess.
Well, you know, it's kind of like practicing medicine. You know, all doctors are in practice until they retire.
Right.
Well, a lot of weather guys are too. They do the best they can do with all of the information. I remember back in the 70s when I first got interested in weather, it was because of my flying, and we had nothing.
That's right. Did you have Doppler yet back then?
No.
Yeah.
Had nothing to look at, man.
It was a finger in the air,
It
man.
really was, you know. And so now you got so much that you can look at and depend upon. Bill Taylor's absolutely awesome. I think Chris Shushan over on Channel 3 or 4 or whatever they call it is doing a good job. He's always – I don't know when that guy sleeps. Bill's the same way.
I'm a Bill Taylor. Oh, yeah. I'm a Bill Taylor guy.
Me too. I love Bill. And of course, absolutely. And of course, retired Steve Brown. You know, nobody ever did it better than Steve Brown, and he's still doing it great on his Facebook page.
I love watching Sarah Spivey.
Good. Yeah, she's good. She's good. She really is. So anyway, that's the thing to pay attention to the next several days. And by the way, as far as radio traffic, Debbie has got everybody smoked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, certainly.
I've known her for now about 40 years, and she is just absolutely unbelievable, Sean, in the reliability of her information and how she gets it said, and gets off.
Traffic reporting is a damn near an art form.
It is.
I've known a few, really brilliant traffic reporters over the years, and that's disseminating a lot of information.
For those who have a lifetime in San Antonio, she was the electric lady on KISS, middays on KISS back in the 80s and 90s. And now she's now doing traffic, and she's just absolutely amazing. There's nobody better on radio doing it.
Be thankful I don't do traffic because you'd get lost and get into accidents. Bad things would happen to you.
She's the best. Sonny Hostin's son, Gabriel, is 24. He was caught trespassing on railroad tracks in New York. It's a place where a lot of people go to commit suicide. So the cops stopped him and said, dude, you all right? What's going on? Why are you here? There's signs, trespassing signs all over. Don't go here. Active trains coming by, and he's running along these railroad tracks. So the cops stopped him. They're questioning him, and he says, well, here, let's call my mom. Now, the dude's 24. Okay, let's call my mom. They called the mom. She gets on the phone. What does Sonny Hostin from The View say?
No, what?
What does she tell the cops? Do you know who I am?
No, stop.
Do you know who I am? And the cops said.
That's probably why he's on this bridge.
And yeah, right. So,
are you serious?
And so the cop said, no, really, ma'am, I don't.
But we're the elites, huh?
She said, I'm on The View. And you better. Why are you talking to him? I'm his attorney.
God.
I'm his attorney of record. Do not talk to. Don't ask him any more questions. Don't ask him another thing.
Good Lord.
So
Get a grip on yourself.
Not only is she nuts on The View, she's a bitch too. Oh, I'm sorry. That came out.
Took the word right out of my mouth.
I'm sorry.
She's a witch.
She is. That's it. Oh God.
Can you edit that?
Who I am? Holy crap.
Can you edit that and change that to W instead of B?
No, she could be a female dog.
All right.
Yeah, one thing you'll never hear any of my kids say is, my dad's on the or my stepdad's on the radio. You better no, that doesn't work, man. Of course, it never works for radio guys.
That doesn't work.
I'm on the radio. Who cares?
It was pounded into my head growing up in this business that, number one, you got to put your pants on one leg at a time. You ain't got no special talent where that's concerned, and at least once a day you got to have a movement. So that doesn't mean you ain't special at all, boy. You keep that. You knew him?
Yes.
You keep that in mind. You ain't special.
And the radio trip never quite works.
And don't you ever ask who your daddy is.
Yeah, right.
I'm on the radio.
Indiana Senator Jim Banks. Man, this guy's brilliant. He obviously read the Kavanaugh ruling on the what do they call that, concurrence, on the birthright citizenship deal. Because he just put a bill in yesterday to classify illegals as invaders. If you classify illegals as invaders, which they are, by the way, they have invaded your country.
The current kind of illegals that we have coming into this country are very definitely invaders.
So if they're an invader, then they're not subject to the jurisdiction. 16th Amendment.
Right.
So if they're not subject to the jurisdiction because they're an invader into your country and thereby not subject to the jurisdiction, their kiddos cannot be citizens of the United States because they're an invader.
Right.
They're not subject to the jurisdiction. Get the wording.
I saw this yesterday.
You get the wording?
It's a clever argument.
It's very smart that Congress has, Brett Kavanaugh said, Congress has the power to create exceptions in this rule. One of the exceptions can be in the case of invaders. Invaders are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and America. So anybody who enters the U.S. for purposes of birth tourism will now be considered, if it passes. An invader, thereby their children will not be citizens of this country. Hallelujah. Pass it. Let's go.
I think it's an excellent idea. When you know we have countries that are doing this on purpose, communist countries.
We have hospitals in America that advertise it. Come here, $3,000.
Yeah, we got them here in Texas.
So let's pass that law. All right, more Ware and Rima coming up. KTSA. Periods of heavy rain and thunderstorms, significant flash flooding possible through Thursday. 82 today, 79 tomorrow, 75 now. KTSA. Real quick thing here, Sean. Comal County was hit very, very hard from Bulverde all the way over to Garden Ridge with a heavy amount of rain.
Right.
And the Comal County Sheriff's Department, who are fantastic. Everybody I've ever met on you're agreeing. Comal County sheriffs are
Mark
just
Reynolds.
Yeah, they're really great people. I'm not eating your time. I just want to make sure we put this out there. They have been putting updates for Comal County out on their webpage. So there's a lot of road closures in Comal County, which includes New Braunfels and everything west of there. So please listen to the Comal County sheriffs. There's none better than what they do up there. Please be very careful. Go to their page if you're concerned, if you're in that area because of the amount of rain that they've received. Go to their page and look up the roads to make sure you're good to go.
Yeah, and keep listening to us. Yeah. We put out the information. Like I said, Trey's the master at this. We put out the information as soon as we get it, so you know what you're heading into. Just a couple of smaller stories. That we have a Sunshine Act there that passed a committee in the House, or made it through committee in the House, and a lot of people are complaining, saying, "Hey, we got more important things." This is about daylight savings time. Which would make it, one time all year round. We have a bunch of states have already elected to do this. I know it's, for a lot of folks, it's not high up on the to-do list. I want it one damn time all year round.
Absolutely.
We're not an agricultural society by and large. I mean, as we were in the early days when this was proposed, and I don't see any need to go through this hassle of changing the clocks back every year.
Nope.
Plus, half my clocks just stay on the same time anyway, so I have to do the math throughout.
Never change the micro, do you?
No, I don't. So just one time, I'd be fine with that. I did see this story about CNBC did a quality of life ranking of the worst places to live in America.
Yeah.
10 worst places to live in America.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before I get to their 10 worst places to live in America, you and I, it's observably true that people are flowing out of L.A. and flowing out of New York and flowing out of some of the bigger cities. Texas is seeing a population boom. A lot of businesses, major corporations are coming here. The stock exchange is coming here. I mean, we're really becoming the center of the universe here in Texas because so many people are flooding out of these other places because they can't freaking afford to live there. But according to CNBC, the top spots, the top worst places to live, top 10 worst places to live in America are oddly all red states, and Texas is one of them. Arkansas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Missouri, Utah, Georgia, Louisiana, Indiana, Texas, and Tennessee, according to CNBC, are the worst places to live in America. Now, when you look at what they factor in, they sort of look at affordability, but mostly they're looking at climate, air quality, and frankly, gay stuff. Where is it best to be gay? Abortion rights. Reproductive rights, as they call them. And so that's what they're basing this study on, the worst 10 places to live in America. And arguably, the Texas economy is rocking and rolling as far as I understand it. And again, we have a population boom. Florida is seeing a lot of folks moving into that state and leaving a lot of these blue states.
Well, first of all, the network again is what?
CNBC.
So if you take the first C out, what are you left with?
NBC. And you could just throw communist to stand for the C.
Well, the lead story, the New York Post today, New York exodus of millionaires equals an $11 billion tax loss.
Yes.
Now, Mamdani is trying to build a communist nation in New York, but they have now they've opened the exit doors and forced all their millionaires and billionaires out. They went to Florida and they came to Texas. Do you know where they're actually growing the population in New York? Who's actually moving in? Illegal aliens.
Shocking.
They've had a population boom in illegal aliens in New York.
Shocking.
But as far as the people who have to pay for all that, they done bought the U-Hauls, or actually they done loaded up the Lear jet, and they're flying to Texas.
Look, you look at something like the film and television industry in California. It's draining out of California as well. A lot of big money people in entertainment are taken off from California. So again, this is just another example of the propaganda that's being shoveled into a lot of people's heads.
NBC.
Because if you tell a stupid person that Texas is one of the worst places to live, they'll probably believe it.
Sure.
Even though if they moved here, they'd probably have a really great life. You know what I mean?
I'm going to tell you something else about. You're talking about the film industry in California. This is going to rock the world. But there's an $883 billion merger plan with Paramount.
Oh, yeah. I saw
And
that.
Gavin Newsom is trying to crap can that.
Yes, he is.
Paramount, last night, the head of Paramount said, we're seriously considering leaving Hollywood. We're going to leave California.
Look, blue politics, blue leadership, liberal leadership and policies have destroyed Hollywood, L.A., New York, and these used to be the two poles of this nation as far as influence.
Well, keep in mind, we are blue in San Antonio and Bexar County.
Well, we are.
And the blueness here is trying to destroy Bexar County and San Antonio.
Well, not only
yes, it
that,
is.
but a lot of people in the movie business in California and nonprofits like Gary Sinise's nonprofit go to Tennessee.
Yeah, they're going to Tennessee.
Oh,
Atlanta,
Franklin,
Tennessee.
Georgia's
Columbia.
huge.
Georgia's huge.
Yeah, it's getting really big. Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break. More Ware and Rima coming up. Tell you about, BG products in your vehicle after a serious flooding event and a rainfall like what we're having now. I just advise people, I've been around, cars my entire life, I advise you to go have your oil changed, even if it's not time. Even if you're not at the 5,000-mile mark yet or 7,000 miles, whatever your vehicle calls for, it's still a good idea to go get it out of there and to replace it with fresh oil and do the BG service while you're at it with BG inside your crankcase. You really are doing the best you can do. Now, I cannot guarantee you're never going to have a breakdown or any problem like that. That'd be foolish of me, right? It's impossible. But if you want the best in insurance, really, for I'm talking about lubrication inside your vehicle to make sure you're not going to have problems, the BG product is simply the best I've ever found. And I believed in it so much that when I was racing full-time, I ran it in all my race cars, and those are really expensive engines. And I trusted BG to take care of them. And I know you can, too. So next time you have your oil changed, and I hope it's very soon after this rainfall, have them do that and have them do the fuel system cleaner as well. You'll be miles ahead when you use BG products. BGFindashop.com.
Guests of Ware and Rima appear via the Stevens Roofing Newsmaker Hotline.
Hi, Trey Ware here. If you have pain and limited movement, you're not able to do the things you love to do.
just looking at southbound 281 at Brook Hollow, and those two right lanes, and are really bleeding into the third right lane as well. So you got a big problem there on southbound 281. Everything else is just a typical where it fills up. We're Ware and Rima. It's 8:35 now at KTSA. We are going to follow this throughout the day today. There's a chance it's going to start to build back after 1, 2 o'clock, something like that. So we'll be watching that carefully. And then tomorrow is even more intense, I believe.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. There's a potential for it to be more intense. Whether it is or not, we won't know until we get there. This is one of those tricky deals where everything in the atmosphere is just ripe to have a serious flooding situation continue for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But none of the models can tell you exactly when and where it's going to fall. They just can't. They can
It's
give
the
you a little
nature of weather, man.
Well, right,
it's the nature of it.
Well, and that's kind of what happened, last July 4th when it caused all the problem with the camps up on the river, is that wasn't supposed to happen right then and there. And they you couldn't tell because it hit right there where they were, and it wasn't supposed to do that. So
it's so weird seeing because the Facebook memories. I just do Facebook.
Sure.
The Facebook memories come up, and you see what we were talking about. We were posting a year ago. It's just sad, heartbreaking.
And so we got a situation here where some guys are saying, look, this is a setup like July of 2002. So for those who remember 98 and July 2002, this is that type of setup, particularly for the people out west of San Antonio. And you go out there anywhere from San Antonio all the way out to Uvalde and Del Rio beyond, and you've got some heavy rainfall that fell overnight. Some patches got up to 12 inches in one night.
That's a lot.
We get an inch here and we think we're drowning. So,
right.
And a lot of the roads, Debbie's doing a phenomenal job, so I won't recap what she said, but a lot of the roads are impassable, or particularly up in Comal County. I was mentioning earlier, the Comal County sheriffs, they have been posting consistent updates on the roads up there.
Right.
They've had some serious trouble, and those guys are on it. Those Comal County sheriffs are fantastic. So if you just go to their web, if you have to go through Comal County, go to their webpage, the Comal County Sheriff's Office, and they'll have the details for you. Christian just mentioned this in the newscast. You mentioned it earlier today. I want to bring it back up, and that's this driver allegedly who tried to hit an ICE agent in Maine, and now he's dead. And, of course, he'll be the new cause celeb for the left in this country to shut down ICE and get him out of here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can tell you how to avoid getting shot by an ICE agent. Don't try to run him over with your car. It's that simple. It can't get any easier than that. If you are an illegal alien in our country and an ICE agent or agents encounter you, the best thing you can do for your health and safety is to stand up, put your hands up, and do whatever they tell you. And by the way, they do speak in Espanol, so you will understand them. Do what they tell you to do. Don't put it in drive.
Well, you're right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And plus, when you have a standard or a trend of people attacking ICE officers with their vehicles and law enforcement in general, yeah, they're probably going to be a little jumpy if you're in your car and they tell you to get out and you don't.
Well,
and you take off or you try to hit them. Okay, this situation was created by your own supporters.
Right, well, of course. That's where they get the idea to do this, right? The same thing that happened with whatever her name was, Rachel Good
Houston.
or whatever, and Petty and all those people up there.
Right.
All those people up there that ran into that earlier this year, it should be a warning signal to you. If an ICE agent is if you're there with an ICE agent, don't try to run them over. Don't try to run anybody over.
And that,
that should be a pretty good rule of thumb for life. Don't try to run somebody over with your car.
Well, and especially in a relationship with law enforcement and ICE. You and I, we talk about this all the time. We grew up in an era where the state cops would come to your school, and I don't care what you feel about law enforcement or whatever, but if you comply and just do what they tell you to do, you know what? You won't get shot. That's not saying they have the right to shoot you. It's just being logical.
If you're going to run them over with a deadly weapon in your car, they got every right in the world to blast you.
Yes, they do.
Another thing they're bringing up is they're not wearing their body cams.
So what?
They're not wearing their body cams.
I don't care.
I'm saying, like,
right.
isn't it Angus King? Is that the guy
that doesn't
that
change the crime in a sense if they don't. I would prefer they had body cams.
Well,
they
the
need
one
them.
that shot Good had his own camera.
He had his cell phone, but I know Christy weren't they pushing for body cams on all the uniforms? I don't think that's happened yet.
Let's just bottom line this, because I made a note to myself last night. ICE is arresting criminal illegal aliens who for years were untouchable because no politician had the guts or nuts to go after them because they didn't want to be branded as racist. Yo, you're so racist for kicking these people out of here. And along comes Orange Man, and he says, I don't care if you call me racist. You don't belong in this country. We're coming after you, and we're going to get you out of this country. So these guys have been raping and murdering, and I don't know what this guy in Maine did, but anyway, they have been raping and murdering and doing child sex crimes.
Oh, God.
That's the people that we're getting out of this country. You can go on Breitbart right now and look at the list, and by the hundreds every week we are getting these people out of here. But for years, for decades, they have been untouchable. No politician has wanted to enforce the law until Donald Trump. So you feel so untouchable that if an ICE agent is going to incur you, that you're going to run over an ICE agent, you're going to get shot.
Well, and the other side of that is if you believe your status is good or you think you're being treated unfairly, okay, then when they pick you up, then there are all kinds of lawyers that'll show up and want to defend you, and you can go present your case.
Sure.
But you ain't going to accomplish nothing by certainly not by trying to run them over, but by just gunning the engine driving, you may get shot.
I'm sure you were taught this way. Do not get in a fight on the side of the road with a cop.
Exactly.
We pay people downtown. They wear black robes, and we pay them to decide whether you were wrong or the ICE agent or the cop was wrong or whatever. And listen, to all of you illegals in this country, the vast majority of those black robe wearers are on your side. They're on your side.
Yeah, they are, actually.
So, you know what? Your chances are better with the black robe than they are with the guy with a gun who wants to go home and see his baby tonight. So go ahead, Christian. What were you going to say?
I was going to point out, I had to look at this story out of Maine, which is the most recent ICE shooting, and I had to comb through about a half dozen stories to make sure that this suspect tried to use the car as a weapon, because it probably wouldn't shock you to look at the wires. I can't trust my own wires because the headline is, man shot by ICE agents. I mean, it's kind of like we were talking about the Eric Cantu thing. There was very little said about the fact that police were trying to pull him over the night before. The context of the story is shockingly limited.
You had to search for that. He's right. As far as
I had to dig.
They still are saying from the one last week in Houston,
yes,
he allegedly tried to run over the ICE agent.
Yep. Right.
So,
right.
And the reason the media, this is what is so disgusting about the media. The reason the media is doing that is they want to create this idea that ICE is running around and shooting people.
Exactly what it is.
They're just random, willy-nilly. They may walk up to you today, Sean Rima, and pump one in your head. That's because that's what ICE does. And if you watch The View, that's what you get.
Well,
if you watch all these whack job shows, Morning Joe, that's what you get. You get that image of them.
I referenced Pags earlier because he said this yesterday. And it's a great point that. First off, any ICE that shoots any person, it's going to make the news, right? You're going to hear about it. It's not going to just happen in a vacuum. You're not going to know this is me now. You're not going to know what's happened, right? I mean, they're hopped up, ready to jump on these kinds of stories, right? So how many people are we actually picking up and deporting every single day? Like thousands, lots and lots and lots of people.
Just said.
Yeah.
And the worst of the worst.
And the worst of the worst. But we've had 4 cases, you know what I mean, where somebody has discharged a weapon against somebody.
Right.
That's hardly ICE stomping on the terra with like jackbooted thugs and just willy-nilly shooting people.
Well, the first thing is, don't come into the country illegally. That's your first problem. Second problem is, if you came in here years ago and your visa expired or whatever, you might want to reapply. Or we hear cases all the time of guys who have been here for 30, 35 years with an expired.
The case in Maine, wasn't it?
No, that's Houston.
Houston.
35 years.
Houston, the guy had been here 35 years on an expired visa. 35 years? Are you kidding me?
I'm surprised Elaine and I have not been deported yet. It's amazing because the ICE is just snatching brown people.
Right.
And I can't believe we make it into work without being detained by ICE every day.
I can be easily deported if he looked like Kevin Costner.
Oh, my God.
She'd jump in the van.
She would. She'd be like,
no.
Can you go ahead?
Can I have handcuffs?
Yeah, right. So I was about to say, she'd be like, "Can you use your cuffs on me?
Search me. I might be, covering something.
Yes,
hiding
that's right.
something.
That's right.
Handcuffs, por favor.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You would say it that way too, wouldn't you? Yeah. Can you go ahead and body search me? I need you to make sure I don't have a weapon.
She might have contraband.
You might have to pat me down.
Do you carry contraband with you when you go somewhere?
And take your time. Pat me down and take your time about it.
Trey, the question is where.
Only treats for moonshine. That's the only contraband you may be carrying.
Elaine makes every segment dirty. Here we are. We're dirty again. We're talking about patting down
I
Elaine.
love law enforcement.
But that's her role in the show because she can get away with it. If you and I did it, we'd just be dirty old
it'd be
men.
awful. We'd be
dirty old men.
Pervy like usual.
Pervy.
I make it legitimate.
Well, that's true.
You make it legitimately pervy.
Yeah, but Elaine, you also have a thing for older dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
In
not
uniform.
like you don't pick
Because
on.
I'm looking at older dudes right now, and there's nothing happening.
No uniform either.
There's no uniforms, yeah.
Uniforms. I like uniforms.
We're going to start wearing uniforms in here every day.
I'm not.
And I'm going to find a different job.
Yeah.
More uniforms.
When you and I were in New York, Nancy and I went to the Waldorf or whatever hotel downtown, and we're sitting there at a table, and we're just having a drink. And my wife is looking past me. Now, at this point, we've been married for, at that point, 35 years, and she has yet to see me. So I finally turn around, and it's all these New York firefighters in their dress blues.
Wow.
Yep.
Just trying to find out, how do I choke on this drink so I can get CPR?
Oh, God.
Right.
Knightley Insurance Group, Nick Knightley and his team at Knightley Insurance Group. That's Knightley with a K. They're here to help you with your Medicare choices, and all of your Medicare choices are super important to you. You got to get it right up front, and that way you don't have to worry about coming back and making changes later, because most times you get locked out and you can't make any changes after you've made your Medicare choices. So you want to make sure you get this done the right way. So if you're trying to decide what those choices are, and I'll be doing that in just, 3 or so years, and when I'm making those decisions, you know who I'm going to get in touch with. That's Knightley Insurance Group. But they're ready to help you now. I wish I would have known them back when I was trying to help my dad with all this. The website's confusing at Medicare. It's tough to try to get through it. That's why you need these pros. And I love the fact they don't charge you for this. They're a Medicare broker, so they don't charge you at all for any of their services. And by the way, if you're already enrolled in Medicare and there's a change to your plan or something that goes on, a doctor change or a medication change, you don't know what to do at the pharmacy and all that stuff, hey, just reach out to Knightley Insurance Group, and they'll walk you through the process on that as well. Real simple. It's Knightley with a K, KnightleyInsuranceGroup.com. Periods of heavy rain and thunderstorms, significant flash flooding possible through Thursday. 82 today, 79 tomorrow, 73 now, KTSA. We're in the middle of the day from all the rain that fell last night. Still pretty heavy out in the Del Rio area. That will continue, but expect more to build in tonight. And then overnight hours and tomorrow, we've got an even higher percentage of more rain falling. So we'll continue to follow it for you. But what came early this morning did bring a lot of flooding to our area, particularly in those places where it floods. 281 southbound between Brook Hollow and Bitters, 35 at the Walsham Road area, those lakes that form wherever there's construction that's going on. So be safe this morning. We'll continue to follow it for you.
Just a couple of quick stories. We may have hit this. I know we talked about this at the end of last week, but we had this Laotian who was convicted of raping a 10-year-old girl multiple times. Tim Waltz he was supposed to be deported, and Tim Waltz and the Minnesota government had let him go. Marco Rubio stepped in, the State Department. They got the guy, and they deported him. We now found out, or have been finding out, what the argument was for, not deporting the guy and just letting the guy go. Did you see? He's got 6 kids, and it was argued to the governor, Tim Waltz, that they didn't want the 6 kids to grow up fatherless if this Laotian guy was deported. That was a guy who was convicted of raping, of sexually molesting over a period of years, a young girl starting at the age of 10. They let him go because they didn't want his 6 kids to grow up childless. And they argued culture, that in his part of the world in Southeast Asia, hey, guys routinely hook up with 10 and 12-year-olds. So,
Oh, it gets worse because he tried to pay her $10 to buy her silence. And then when he went to court, he argued that she should be charged too.
Because in his culture,
that's
yes.
right. So
she was asking for it, essentially.
Right. And bottom line is, this guy's a scumbag.
Yeah.
Time to go, baby.
Yeah. Well,
get out of my country.
Marco took care of it for us, so that's a good thing. I saw this story, too. A guy, Pakistani guy or Palestinian guy, he's American, but he's of Palestinian descent, was flying from Atlanta to Newark, and they wouldn't let him fly because he was wearing a T-shirt that said, "Bombing kids is not self-defense." And they said, well, that's upsetting to people, offensive, and you can't, we have a policy that you can't wear offensive shirts or bother people.
It was United Airlines.
And you have to change your shirt or you cannot be on this flight. Ultimately, he did change his shirt, but after, the supervisor had to get involved, a lot of people from United had to get involved. And I kind of worked my mind through this. I mean, you got the right to freely express yourself in this country on many, many different levels. It is a constitutional right. I don't know that you have the right to wear a shirt that says bomb on it when you're getting onto a plane. I mean, I think any T-shirt that has the word bomb. I mean, I get what it's a slam against Israel. I mean, I get what it's supposed to mean.
Right.
And maybe some people found that offensive. But the word bomb on an article of clothing when you're getting on a plane, I'm sorry.
Do you know you can't even say that in the airport?
I never say the word bomb.
You can't.
Yeah, I know you can.
They will come and interrogate you.
Yeah.
But here's the bottom line. He said in that story that he was being provocative. That's why he put the shirt on. He was intentionally trying to be provocative.
Well, a jerk.
Yeah. And here's the thing. If you read the fine print on a ticket that you bought from United, they can certainly tell you what you cannot wear on their airplane. He's got no gripe coming.
No.
He's got no argument in this case, and that's why he had to change the shirt so he could fly. You got no gripe, dude.
It's, in a sense, a private business, and it's their plane, and if they don't want you on that plane because of what you're doing, they can do that.
They do it to women who dress provocatively all the time.
Yes, we do stories
you
on
need
that.
to cover that up.
We do stories on that all the time.
So they have it's the fine print that's on the ticket. Says so.
I'm so sick of people who are being provocative, who are trying to provoke people by their behavior, and when they get that reaction, they start screaming about oppression, being held down. We got a guy in town that does chalk circles all over the place in places where he's not legally able to do it, and he gets involved with the cops and makes little videos of himself. I'm so sick of it, man. Yeah. You're in America. You're not oppressed. You're doing fine.
And by the way, since you were talking about kicking this Laotian guy out of here, a Cuban by the name of Guillermo Morales, he hijacked a plane in 2003.
2003.
Spent 20 years in prison. He was set for deportation because he's a hijacker.
Right.
Time to get him out. He's a Cuban. Time to send him back to Cuba. a commie Democrat activist judge, instead of deporting him like he was scheduled to be, turn him loose on the streets.
Of course he did.
So if he'd pull something else, then again, I make my case. You, commie judge appointed by Bill Clinton, you are an accessory to whatever he did, because he was set to be deported by our Department of Homeland Security, and instead of allowing him to be deported, you put him back on the streets. You're now responsible for what he does.
Did he provide an argument for why he made that choice?
Doesn't want him out. Doesn't want him to be sent out of the country. Same thing with the Laotian.
Well, no, it's evil and wrong.
He's going to do better here than he will do in Cuba.
Oh God, it's a sickness, and you're right. You need to, especially when it's systemic, you need to start holding some of these people responsible. I don't know legally how you do that, but
I would love to see him just once charge one of them as an accessory.
Right.
And literally go in and say, you're an accessory to the crime that, this guy just killed Irina Zarutska. You're an accessory to that murder because you let him back on the streets. Let's go. You're under arrest for accessory.
And time again,
see what happens.
When you have a person who time and time again, when they're released, they commit an act of violence or a crime.
Let's see how it goes.
What do you think they're going to do the next time? Same damn thing.
Just be interesting to see if it gets to second base. We're Ware and Rima, KTSA.
I get to talk to you about Southwest Metal Roofing Systems.
What?
Every person, without fail, that we bring in and we put in that chair, I have to teach them how to speak correctly.
Okay,
Christian
what was
speak
it?
correctly? What did Christian say?
Uvalde.
Uvalde.
What is Christian blood?
What is it?
Uvalde. It's not Uvalde.
Okay.
What's a Valdi? What is that?
Actually,
it's Uvalde.
I should have said Ubalde.
Oh, come on.
I messed it up.
Everybody.
See, so I messed
only
up
person-
in
you know
Texas.
the only person
Just
I had to
because
teach
he's
that to.
married to a Spaniard, he likes to use all of those Spanish.
You know the only person I'd have to teach that to was Elizabeth Ruiz. She knew how to say Uvalde. That's how you say Uvalde.
Uvalde?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know when I first moved here,
Uh-huh.
I thought Days of Allah was Days of Allah.
Well, you know what?
I thought it was like that.
Days of
That must
Allah.
be the Hindu part of town.
That's the way we used to write it on the cart labels at the end of a commercial when they'd say, I-10 and Days of Allah. We'd write Days of Allah.
That makes sense.
We just did. We're just, messing around and having fun. Or, let's go to Hubner. Hubner and I-10.
Yeah, I live close to
I would
Hubner.
call, I would call it Huebner.
I
Yeah.
did that when I came here.
Huebner?
Our Perrin Bytel.
Yep, I did that too.
Going over here, Perrin Bytel. Oh, did you ever say Bexer?
No, I never
Bexer?
did that. No.
I've heard people say that.
Now, how would you say Bexar County since you are Mr. Spaniard?
Also County.
Bexar.
No,
Bexar.
not Bexar.
Also, is Bear is a
Behar.
Behar.
Behar. That's how they said it. They said Behar. I'm
No.
telling you the way they said it, Christian.
When I first
In
moved,
Spain, it's
I'd hear.
Bexar.
Look at me like I'm nuts.
When I moved here, I'd hear people say Seguin and
Oh,
Gruen.
man. See,
Do you ever go to Man Shack?
Manchac. When I was in Manchac, yes.
You mean Menchaca? No, we call it Man Shack.
man,
Manchac.
oh God, please help me. So, just humor me and say Uvalde, okay?
I'll try.
Just humor me. Just
Uvalde.
make me feel good. Because
Uvalde.
hey, all right.
Uvalde.
Queehee.
Queehee.
So you don't want me to say bandera.
Bandera.
It's not acceptable.
Bandera.
Roll the tongue.
Blanco?
Bandera.
Is it Blanco
Okay,
Roll?
Zorro.
There's only one R.
We
so.
actually had somebody on traffic that would say, "You're going down Bandera,
Bandera.
dude.
Mhm.
Please, you're
Blanco or Blanco?
in Blanco. It's
Wrong.
Blanco.
It's Blanco,
No,
Texas.
no, it's.
Ain't number white people.
See,
in
that's
Blanco,
right. Nothing but white Texas, white people in Texas.
But you know what's funny?
Blanco.
I do say Blanco.
Good.
Instead of
Hallelujah.
Blanco.
Well,
Well,
there's
if-
hope for you yet.
Well, if my wife hears it, then I catch hell over it. So.
There's hope for him yet.
There's
Yep.
hope for him.
It's just a
Only
little bit.
Spanish I know, they're all dirty words.
That's all I know.
It's just really dirty words.
Tell
A
us
few
one.
colors.
No, I can't.
Come on, tell us one.
No, I can't.
Come on.
No,
I'll do it.
Come
I'll do
on.
can't.
You got guts, don't you?
No, I do have guts, but I need the gig, Trey. got a mortgage and bills
It
to
doesn't
pay.
count if it's in a foreign language.
That's
Yeah,
true. The
yeah,
FCC
no,
doesn't.
It doesn't
I-
count if you say it in a
I
foreign
know
language.
really filthy stuff in Spanish, and I'm not going to say it.
Well, but you don't know any real words, just the bad stuff, just the bad words,
the
just the
filthy
bad
words, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
he knows a few animals or something, right?
I know what the word for old man is, 'cause
What
I
is
hear that
it?
one all the time.
Viejo?
Viejo, yeah. I get
And
called
the
that all the
word-
time.
The word for eggs is huevos.
Yeah.
I hear those all the time.
Well, no, that's not eggs.
That's what eggs
Yes,
are.
it
No,
is.
that's not eggs.
What is it? It's
Wait,
eggs.
right. Well, the vernacular.
Yeah.
Trey's bilingual, of course.
Yes.
Dump us
actually,
out on the
he
west side and
says
we're
yes.
gonna
actually,
get
there was a friend of mine who used to work on my race car. His son was taking Spanish, and he had a test the next day. So we were working on the race car, and he said, "I need to drill on this test." So I just told him, "You put an O after every word."
I used to do the same thing.
So he would say, instead of gato, it was cato.
Cato.
But if it's feminine, it's got to be an A at the end.
Well, that too.
And what about that little squiggly line on the N? What is that for?
that's a
for
tilde.
accent.
Yeah, that's
that's they got too much tequila.
and
Yeah.
That's
There it
a
goes.
yeah sound.
Little Codigo.
Inya.
All right, so this is getting boring, so I'm moving into really exciting stuff.
Viejo, that's what I hear.
This is getting boring, so I'm going to move into the real stuff here. The inflation report came out,
Yes.
so this is more exciting. Inflation's more exciting.
Financial numbers, yes.
Now let's play with this a minute because this is cool. The inflation numbers just came out. All the guys over at Bloomberg, because they interview all these guys that know the economy.
Right.
Bloomberg, you've already gone to sleep, haven't you? The
No,
look on your face is like,
economic things thrill me.
yeah,
Yes,
see. I can tell- That's why you're wealthy at 58 years old, doing all this investing and getting richer by the minute.
Right.
That's right.
No, that's why I need an advisor to tell me how to invest my money because I'm an idiot.
That's right. All right, 3.8% is what was expected on the inflation. It came in at 3.5%. And so we still have people saying that inflation's high. Inflation's not high, guys. Okay, we were at 9% under Joe Biden. 9%. Right. You were paying $12 for 12 eggs. Okay, $1 an egg.
Yep.
So when people are saying, well, it's at 3.5%, that obviously is 0.3% below what all the brainiacs said it was going to be. So why? Why are we where we are, particularly since we're in a war? And that's what I want to frame this as. Keep in mind what's going on geopolitically on planet Earth right now. We got a war going on. We have high inflation in other countries. Some countries are teetering on really almost a depression. There's some countries out there that they have no economic growth. Our economic growth, guys, is fantastic. We came in right at almost banging 3% last week in economic growth. The average in the world is somewhere around 0.7, 0.8. The only one that broke a 1 was the UK last week, okay? We're blowing the rest of the world away. Now, people are saying, well, what does that mean for inflation? Inflation is supposed to be really high right now, particularly since gas prices are so high. No, they're not.
Not comparatively.
Well, that's
compared to what we were dealing with a few years ago.
This is all contextual.
Yeah.
You have to keep a context in your brain when you're talking about this stuff. Is it as low as you want it to be? No, it's not. Is it as low as it's soon to be? No, it's not. So when you look at energy, okay, the energy costs have been lowered in this country exponentially because what? We drilled, and we started to get more out of the ground and all that. Food prices, and I know this doesn't feel good right now because they're still too high, but food prices are lower, and they're dropping all the time.
You ain't paying $9 for a gallon of orange juice right now like you were, a couple of years ago.
A big change has been in drug prices. Those of you who are consistently on prescription medicine.
I've noticed
you
that
see
one.
that coming way down. Now, what else do you see? What else is lowering prices? Crime is way down. Why? Because Donald Trump is kicking butt and taking names in areas where there's high crime, okay? When crime goes down, the cost of living goes down. I know this sounds really weird, but it's all factors into it.
Our economy is connected. Every part of it's connected to every other part of it.
See, you know the economy.
I know the basics of it, yeah.
So you've got this situation where when crime is high, let's just take this as an example. Vehicle thefts, okay? Your insurance rates go through the roof when there's a bunch of vehicle thefts. And that's spread around in the economy. We all have to pay higher insurance. If Sean has his car stolen, I'm paying higher insurance. Yeah. Well, wait a minute. It wasn't your car that was stolen. It doesn't matter. The insurance pool is a risk pool that circles around all of us. So that's a real thing. When you're talking about crime being down, less break-ins, less robberies, less of these stupid jacks that are walking into places as these storming these stores and ripping these stores apart. Remember, that's
I was going to say, how many of these places, major retail chains, had to close hundreds of stores because they were getting robbed constantly?
Smash and grabs were going on every day.
Constantly.
So, look, we should be in a much higher place with inflation right now when you take a look at what's going on geopolitically around the world, and we're simply not. Why? Because Donald Trump figured out you have got to reignite manufacturing. You've got to bring down energy prices. You got to bring down drug prices. That's why he started Trump RX. The things that we interact with every single day, you've got to bring those things down. And there's more coming. Let me give you an example. There's about to be a flood of oil on the market.
Right.
Okay? Right now, oil prices, as we sit here, are $79 a barrel. They were, under Joe Biden, over $120 a barrel. The smart people in the oil business tell us that because of where this war is going on, it should be at $160 a barrel. That's where it should be.
Right.
$160. Instead, we're $79 a barrel. We're half of what the experts tell us oil should be at. Half. So now that you're going to have a flood hit the market, and once we're able to get it refined and turned into gasoline, which is the bigger problem, the thing, and I'm sure Trump is working on this, the thing we've got to do is build more refineries. We've got to get more refineries online.
The last guy was shutting them down, man.
We've got to get more refineries online so that we can refine more oil and get it to the market in a faster way. When we have this flood of oil that hits the market, goes through the refining process and becomes gasoline, you're going to see gas prices go super low, lower than they've ever been. At the same time, you're going to have a nation that wanted to blow us up with a nuke gone. They will not exist at the same time. So the optimism is going to be extremely high.
Oh, yeah.
Happy days are here again.
So much of it is psychology, and you know we talk about that all the time. But just look at gas prices in and of itself. If gas prices do, in fact, come down, pretty measurably, it affects every other part of the economy. It affects how much the stuff at the store costs because somebody has to drive it there in a vehicle, right? I mean, it affects every layer of the economy.
Well, first of all, it has to be manufactured.
It has to be manufactured.
And
requires
it takes petroleum to make anything, including your drugs.
Yep.
Okay, so if petroleum prices are lower, then everything else is going to be lower. The guy who sells it to you at Walmart, he's got to get there.
Yeah.
And if it's costing him less to get there, then that's going to save you money ultimately, and that's what happens. And by putting more money, more buying power in your hands, that's what is like last week's numbers where our economy, the numbers GDP went up last week. That's because you have more money in your pocket than you did a year ago. Why? Because there's fewer people here. We're deporting cheap labor, and as cheap labor is being deported, then you make more money because they got to pay you more.
You have a job. They want to incentivize your employment. Again, it's a cascading effect. It affects everything.
Well, you just said job, and then we're done with this. You just said job. Okay, so the job creation numbers have been ridiculous. And during, and I mean ridiculously positive. In the Biden years, they were creating fake jobs in the federal government to make it look good, okay?
Essentially cooking the books.
Well, they were cooking the books, number one, but they were also giving people jobs that did nothing. They had no purpose for being. All of the job losses since Trump got into office have been government jobs. all 100%, 100% of the job growth since last year when Trump got in office have been in the private sector. The private sector jobs pay more. They pay more, and they generate the economy.
The private sector is the engine of the economy, basically.
Small business.
Yeah.
Small business. So the other thing that happened is that Donald Trump has brought manufacturing back here. So the announcement last week of Toyota bringing Tacoma here from Mexico, that's 2,000 jobs coming to San Antonio. But to support what those 2,000 jobs have to build, there's 20,000 new jobs that are coming online to support the 2,000 jobs they're going to be building Tacoma here. That's what we're talking about. And that's multiplied over and over and over again. So you're seeing an amazing revolution, economic revolution, that doesn't get talked about.
Not if you're listening to the standard sources, the standard media types. You're hearing something dramatically different. They hang on a barrel of gas or a barrel of oil and what the fluctuating price is. And I'm not an economic, a very deep-thinking guy economically, but I can see when I'm being bull-crapped. And they focus on whatever negative thing on any given day they can so they can bolster this affordability argument they have, which is Donald Trump is driving up the cost of life with his war and with his policies, which is absolutely not true. But yet that's what you hear if you're only watching NBC or you're only getting your news from CNN. Okay, they're going to take any negative thing about the economy they can and blow it way out of proportion, which is what they do with everything.
Well, and having the businesses that I have, I understand it's tough on businesses right now.
Right.
One of our businesses is having not us personally, our businesses are doing fine, but the industry, one of the industries we're in is having an extremely soft year. Extremely soft year. And so it's been tough for a lot of people in our businesses. Now, thank God we're doing fine. But the industry itself is having a soft year. That's the psychology of all of this, what you're talking about when people are preached to that, oh, it's terrible out there and it's going to die and we're all going to go down. So my
they
word
stop
is
participating in the economy. They
do.
Back.
You sit on your cash.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is don't do that anymore. These numbers are fantastic. We have a strong economy. We have the strongest economy on planet Earth. China's in real bad trouble. China was a top competitor of ours economically. Their numbers are terrible. I mean, really bad. And so we are the king daddy once again in the world. Now, we got to hang on to the Trump people to be able to keep this going because keep in mind, it's Trump versus Obama. It's Commie Obama versus free market Trump. And Commie Obama gets back in charge. He's going to start attacking this economy once again.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Look at how they went after the energy industry.
Correct.
And people stopped investing in these refinements, these drilling operations.
They'll go back to it again. So
of course they will. That's what they want to do. They want to
right.
destroy it.
River City Oral Surgery, Dr. Mark Havercorn, he is here for you to make sure that you get full mouth dental implants that not only look fantastic if you have missing or broken teeth, but also help you chew better. If you've noticed that you're choking on some food and all that kind of stuff, that's no fun. If you have missing teeth, listen, the sooner that you take care of that, the better. Because every day that goes by that you have missing teeth, you're having bone loss and bone loss and bone loss. So this is where you want Dr. Havercorn to step in and get you these full mouth dental implants. But the reason I say him, first of all, I like him. I've known him for a while, and I like him. There's no games and no gimmicks at River City Oral Surgery. So a lot of these other places, they won't even tell you what it's going to cost to put full mouth dental implants in. They don't. Or if they do tell you, you have to go through such a rigmarole to find that out, it's not even worth it. Go back and forth with them 5, 6, 7 visits before they start to talk even price with you. Who wants to do that? You can go right online and see immediately what they cost from River City Oral Surgery. You can see and learn about the specialists who will actually do the procedure and then get started. It's right there online, everything. That's bold, clear, upfront pricing and great service. RiverCityOMS.com. Periods of rain and thunderstorms, significant flash flooding possible through Thursday. 82 today, 79 tomorrow. Right now, it's 71 at KTSA.
couple of things. First off, Fox has been reporting on this. I was reading about this yesterday, that you have a bit of a conflict inside the Democrat Socialists of America as far as who they're going to endorse or who they want to roll with for a presidential candidate. And I guess some of them want Alexandria Orifice-Cortez, who is a moron. And some of them, want to see who else turns up. But, Trey, by all means, run with AOC. Go with AOC. Of course, they elected a moron in New York City, so I don't know, maybe maybe the morons work for him. Maybe I'm hoping for my own demise here. But I can't see how AOC on the national stage will come off as anything but a stupid person, which is what she is. But if you got a lot of, commie money behind you, it might not matter. The other story I saw, because we're a little short here, the other story I saw was out of Grady County, Georgia. You and I talk about the revival that's going on. It's still happening in this country, and I think it gives us both hope. It's just a nice story at a local jail in Grady County, Georgia. You had 28 inmates this past Friday who were baptized, and I believe the sheriff was running it, or at least facilitating it, or maybe participated in it. Together, we gathered in prayer, lifted our voices in worship, and celebrated these life-changing decisions. Moments like this serve as a reminder that hope, grace, and redemption are possible for everyone. A bunch of local pastors were involved. I think that's cool. Good on them, And they talked to a couple of the inmates who were like, I've been going to Bible study.
Wow, cool.
What's that?
I was just going to ask, those were inmates.
They're inmates, yeah. 28 of them. And, we're seeing a lot of, whether in or out of jail, we're seeing more and more mass baptisms and mass revivals of people giving their lives over to Christ. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's something Charlie Kirk, in a sense, set in motion that is still underway, and gives me hope for the future when I see stuff like this going on.
Well, we all need hope.
Yeah. You need hope like you need food and water. You really do.
I heard that saying once a long time ago. You can live without food for X number of days. You can live without water X number of days. You can live without oxygen for X number of minutes. You can't go 1 second without hope.
Hope is a food group. I absolutely believe that.
More Ware and Rima coming up. KTSA.
Most home
Little girl. Yeah. Let's get in the limo and let's go for a ride, you and me. 1977 was a great year for music, especially from these boys, and then it all fell apart in September of that year.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Terrible.
that's right.
Terrible. Love me some Skinner. Okay, so let me jump into some of the news here. Where did you hear that the speech on Thursday night might be about the election interference in 2020, huh, Kristen? Where did you hear that, huh?
I shall not reveal my sources.
Well, I can't reveal my sources, but
No, actually,
your source was me.
It's starting to kind of no. Look, do some fresh Googling. This is starting to
Really?
Yeah,
It's starting to percolate out there?
A little bit.
So everybody thought it was going to be Iran and the Iran stuff and all that kind of stuff, but what I was told last night in a telephone call was Kash Patel's going to be there, Bill Pulte's going to be there, and what they're going to talk about.
Mark Wayne Mullen, too.
He's going to be there. And that how Donald Trump did get screwed in 2020, that they've got the intel now, and that Ossoff and Warnock are illegitimate senators and should be gone. And so, yeah, I mean,
it's about damn time.
Well, let's see how this plays out. If in fact that's what Thursday night's about, I don't believe it's about Iran. If Kash has got to be there and Bill Pulte, they have no reason to be there. If it's about Iran, unless it's about Iran attacking us here, then that And by the way, President was asked about the drones in Cuba yesterday. He said, well, Marco is right over there, and if that's a problem, Marco's going to handle it for us right now. Aren't you, Marco? It's just another thing for Marco to do.
Another job for Marco.
He just tells it, but it's funny how he'll just instruct people to do stuff. Like, cut off all trade with Spain. You got that? All right. Next question.
And what happened?
They cut off trade with
But
Spain.
then what happened with Spain?
They did exactly what we want. They paid their NATO price.
That's right, exactly. So here he is yesterday talking about Iran.
They made a deal. They broke it. Probably 10 times. And they killed a lot of people. They killed our people. But the protesters, what they've done to the protesters, 52,000. Have you ever seen any of the burial lots where they're burying the protesters? They killed 52,000 protesters. And on my watch, they can't do any of that. So we have them in a position that they don't have any military. There's not a thing they can do about it. All they have is fake news, because they have the fake news, would rather see us lose the war than win the war, which is really treasonous, in a certain way. So we're doing another very major attack tonight. They want to make a deal. They came back. We made a deal 2 days ago, and they want to make a deal. They've been negotiating for 47 years, but nobody's ever hit them militarily. We're hitting them very hard.
And then he kicked them all out. That was after he was talking to Caitlin Collins, said, "You're fake news" to her face.
He did.
And
I watched that, and it wasn't a very long press conference. It was fairly quick.
No, he kicked them all out pretty quickly after he read her the riot act. So Elena Kagan and Amy Coney Barrett are testifying before Congress right now. They're talking about how much they need $228 million for Supreme Court.
Additional security.
14 million in security. But what's interesting when you look at them both, neither one of them are now wearing makeup. Amy Coney Barrett used to wear makeup. She kind of looked, well, for lack of a better word, when she was.
They are wearing makeup, but it's just they look jacked up. Like they look like old.
I'm going to tell. This is where I'm going with this, Elaine. So years ago, when she was up for her confirmation, she looked kind of, lack of a better word, matronly, and they talked about her being a good Christian mom and all that. Now she looks like a hair on fire left-wing nut job. You know how they look. How these left-wing
rough with no makeup,
white liberal women,
being my natural self and all that stuff.
So does Kagan. She looks the same way.
She just looks very unpleasant.
Well, what I'm saying is that liberal women are not pretty, and these two women, and one of them was, and she went from being pretty now to being a liberal-looking woman
That's
from
why
the white
they
suburbs.
hate conservative women. It's not Handmaid's Tale stuff. It's because they're hotter than they are, and they know it.
It's absolutely true.
And the boys look at them, and they don't look at the hippie
I
chicks.
tell you what you do. Let's do a little experiment in your mind. Let's have these two sitting there and plop Anna Paulina Luna down in the middle of it.
Oh, well, there's no contest there, Trey. I don't even need to work it through my mind.
She's not equivalent to a Supreme Court judge. She's just a, what is she, congresswoman?
I don't care.
She's just
I'd
a
rather look at
congresswoman?
her than a Kagan.
She's just a congresswoman? What do you mean by just?
Just.
Wow.
A congresswoman that poses in her bathing suit.
Well, might I add.
So
Looks
anyway,
pretty good in that bathing suit.
the president was on with Hugh Hewitt, and he was talking about Iran.
Well, was the MOU that your negotiators brought back, was that side-saddle MOU, was that built to fall apart?
It was built to test. It was a test. We didn't know. It didn't, look, memorandum of understanding when you're dealing with sleazebags don't mean much. And they don't mean much when you're dealing with honorable people, too, because it's a memorandum of understanding. It doesn't mean much. And I said, why are we even, it's a standard tactic in the U.S. that you go to a memorandum of understanding and then you go to the deal. I said, just go to the deal first. But you know what? It was sort of a test. And they weren't there. They didn't honor the test. We had it. We had this deal settled numerous times. I said, watch. I guarantee, watch. And they never followed it.
Yeah, they never followed it. Okay, before we have to get Jack in here, I wanted to say something about Carl Isom McDaniel, the 65-year-old man that was tossed into the sky high by the bull buffalo. He went to the hospital at a broken thigh, which your femur is the strongest muscle in your body, or the strongest bone in your body.
Bone too.
And it was broken in 3 spots by his hip, near his hip. That's going to hurt later, when he comes out from underneath the opioids. He's going to go, whoa, that hurts. But he was joking about this in the hospital when he woke up. He said, I'm okay. He praised the buffalo for not killing him. He said, when I hit the ground, I just remember looking up, and he was standing over me and could have stomped me, and it really wasn't the buffalo's fault, he said.
Right.
Because he was horny.
He was horny.
Maybe this is the morphine talking.
No,
the buffalo was horny.
The buffalo was
not the old man.
Not Carl. It's the last thing on Carl's
there are
mind.
pills for that, for Carl.
It's the last thing on his mind. The buffalo. It's mating season there in Yellowstone Park, and the testosterone in the buffalo. You're excited about this. I can tell.
No, they get a little uppity this time of year. The bison do,
and they can smell other males. And Carl and the grandson got a little too close, and
one of his women,
the horny buffalo thought,
you're a threat.
You are a threat to my women.
We're all mammals, and they smelled another dude mammal.
That's it.
In their territory. And
I've done that before. I have gone over and actually hooked a guy and thrown him in the air 12 feet high when he got a little too close to my women.
Right.
When I was feeling a little randy.
How did Randy feel about that?
I don't know what Randy felt about it. But, I think he enjoyed it, actually.
Thank God you're in radio and not a basketball star, because all these papers that you're throwing over
I don't know what you're talking about.
They're throwing wadded up paper at each other just to bring you behind the veil here.
What paper are you talking about?
Low shooting percentage.
Hey, you guys want one? There you go.
Did you miss that one too?
Hey, Jack's going to join us next.
Let's ask him about the horny bison and see what he thinks.
No, I don't think I will.
Horny.
I think I'll pass on that one.
Trey, if I see a horny bison, I just get out of the way.
Every time you make fun of him before the segment,
I don't make fun of him.
He cancels the segment.
I don't make fun of him. Well, no. Forces beyond our control cancel the segment.
Like the guys mowing.
Right.
More Ware and Rima next, KTSA. Period. The guy drumming on that song right there, the drummer, lives right over there.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Sure does. 9:51, we are Ware and Rima, KTSA, and, of course, the professor joins us every day at this time, talk about what he's got coming up and kind of break down the stories of the day. And yesterday we were talking about what they're doing in Maine and how they're trying to shuck and jive up there and make sure that the people of Maine and their 156,000 that voted for Plattner don't get an opportunity to vote again for whoever it is that they're going to choose. They made up this panel, and the panel's already been told who they're going to pick and all this other stuff. And we talked about how the Republicans are going to replace Lindsey Graham, and I said at least they're going to take it to the people, and the people are going to get to decide who their choice is going to be. And then Jack does a video yesterday, and he says the exact same thing, that is the difference. And, Jack, we were talking a few minutes ago about this split in the Democrat Party, and particularly in the DSA of the Democrat Party, the socialists, or whatever they call them, so Democrat Socialists.
Democrat Socialists of America.
Yeah, DSA. I call them commies. But anyway, how they're trying to select their presidential candidate for 2028, and they've got a big rift within the DSA that's a rift within the Democrat Party, because there are some there that just want to anoint AOC as the 2028,
right,
and the others want to have a vote. Democrats don't want you to have a say-so in any of their politics.
So are you asking me about that?
Yeah, because your video yesterday and the difference between the Republicans and the...
I hope they do anoint AOC. I'm 100% for that.
That'd be a good choice, right?
Me too.
First of all, I'd rather look at her for 2 years than, I don't know, some tired old Ed Markey or somebody, But no, let them anoint somebody that can't win 48 states, and that's fine. Look, they're going to keep doing it till it bites them, and you would think it already has with Trump, but no, I'm all for it.
Well, and the point you made in your video about that yesterday, about how the Republicans are going to have an actual process in South Carolina to select somebody, that's the way it should be done.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought at first it would have made sense for them to pick somebody who was a candidate, but they clearly didn't want to do that, and Ed Morrissey kind of set me straight on that and said, no, they didn't want to get into the governor there, and the president even, I think, didn't want to get into the fray. Remember, the president endorsed he endorsed both people in the governor runoff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're really trying not. I think he's trying not to make enemies where he doesn't have to. He has plenty of them. But yeah, I'm all for it. AOC all the way. AOC, yeah, definitely nominate AOC.
By all means.
Look, I'm in the talk radio business.
We'll take it.
That's good for the bottom line.
Could be good sound bites.
Good sound bites.
Can you imagine?
Oh
yes, she's an idiot.
It wouldn't even be. What are you going to talk about today? It would just be like slices off a loaf.
It'd be a gift from the talk radio gods every single day.
But I'm thinking about this ICE thing. You mentioned this ICE thing.
Yeah.
It really is a bubble. I was watching some of the raw video of people they were talking to in the crowd where this happened, and they came out. They heard through their networks that something had happened. They realized it was near them.
Yeah.
They came out. They brought one woman had a sign, and the guy said, "How do you already have a sign?" She said, "Well, I brought it from the No Kings." So this is a complete ecosystem of people that just like Pavlov's dog. They hear certain catchphrases and they run out of their house they grab their sign and they run out of their house and they find someone or something to rage at.
Mm-hmm.
But how is this playing to the rest of the country? I think to the rest of the country, this looks like those TikTok videos you see where people are obnoxious to cops and they get their window broken or tased. And you're like, yeah, do it.
I think you're right.
They deserve it. I'm not sure, but I think the ICE thing is playing very differently to the outside world than it is within their little bubble.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So.
Speaking of bubble, I heard you talk. Trey and I touched on this earlier in the day yesterday, and then you brought it up yesterday afternoon. We're talking about Lindsey Graham and this business of him being gay because he's, never been married, doesn't have any kids. And we were talking about how it's interesting that the communities that they claim they're always working for and trying to lift up are also conveniently an insult when they need it to be. I heard you say yesterday, well, if he was gay, what's wrong with that? I thought you guys were all about. Suddenly, to call a Republican or conservative gay is a slur, but in any other regard, it's not. It's something you should be proud of, and you should get out of the closet. We were talking earlier about voter ID and how there's an inherent insult that black people and minorities can't come up with a photo ID. They really do, in a sense, hold their own communities in contempt and disdain, and it kind of slips out here and there, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's because it's an act, and the act,
right.
You can't keep even actors have to go into their dressing rooms and, take a break. But imagine if you had to keep up the act all the time and everywhere you went and to every audience. And even when you were, supposedly off the record, somebody might have their phone. So, yeah, I think they get tired of it. And they do. You're right. Contempt is exactly the word. It's very disposable. Like when they realize maybe they've wrung the last bit of good out of your group, boy, they throw you away like a paper cup.
Yeah. No, absolutely they do. Yeah.
I had a name just cross my mind, and I don't have a question formed. I'll tell you that right up front. But I just want to throw the name at you because of his latest Look at Me saga, and that's Ro Khanna. Have you made any comments or thoughts on him?
Oh, we're going to talk about that a lot today.
Oh, are you?
First of all, I think he blew it by scheduling his press tour, his world tour right around the time Lindsey Graham died. That stole his thunder, but. Yeah, he went to the Middle East. He's trying to elevate himself as a presidential candidate.
That's right.
He basically pulled a Jussie Smollett. He basically tried to claim that the Israelis arrested him and did stuff, and it turns out that he's completely fabricating what happened, and there's video evidence of it.
And don't you think he's trying to do that to get the attention off of his support for Plattner?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, support for Plattner. He's a multimillionaire.
Yes, he is. Very rich.
He has a bunch of previously moderate positions that the lefties will bring up against him, like, hey, why are you with us now? You weren't with us back then.
That's right.
So yeah, he has to frantically reinvent himself, but this did not happen.
And this is just the latest. I mean, he went from Epstein to Plattner to this. He's just trying to find whatever he can grab to get the cameras on him, because I think you're right. He wants to run in 28. Jack Riccardi.
He's very, very slimy.
Yeah,
very
he is
slimy.
terrible.